so uit. Dit is cable.
Hello and welcome to Newlands, and another good T20 game happening tonight. Western Province, that is the World Sports Betting Western Province, taking on the DP World Lions here tonight. And this is a very, very important game because if we look at the log, you can see that the Warriors are well on top and probably well on their way to hosting a final at Kingsmead, at St George's Park. And the Lions and Western Province both on 21 points, so this game in that context is very, very important that they win. The umpires tonight is Mr. Harris and Abdullah Steenkamp, and the fourth umpire, Mr. Gaza. Zed and the Mundi is the match referee. Well, the teams that we have also, the Western Province won the toss and they elected to field first. And so we've got a star-studded lineup with the Lions there, and to give us a bit more information, I'm going to hand over to my colleague next to me. Johan, good to see you after many years again, and to be on air with you here.
Oh, what a privilege, Jeremy. Great to be next to you again in a commentary booth and in a commentary position at one of the world famous venues, world cricket venues in South Africa and Newlands. Such a privilege to sit here again and watch some of the best T20 players that we have on offer. And you look at the Lions lineup, and you mentioned the log. It's pretty congested. Apart from the Warriors, they're running away with proceedings as it stands right now. But positions 2 and 3 facing one another tonight. Big match, both on 21 points. Dolphins sitting on 19. They'll keep a close eye on proceedings. It's been a disappointing campaign for the Tuskers and the G-Bets Rocks from Paul. But apart from that, a lot can still happen. A lot of matches still remaining. It's going to be a pretty congested schedule that's coming our way. But I mean, you look at the Lions, the outfit that they have: Ryan Rickleton, Reza Hendricks, Rassie van der Dussen, Vian Mulder, Delano Potgieter. It's a star-studded lineup. So much international experience, and it's going to be interesting. The mindset from a province perspective. What are they going to be happy to chase? Played against the Tuskers here at Newlands recently and won that convincingly. But how do they go about the sort of a mindset? Do they open with spin? We've seen the variations. They went with seam in the last match against the Tuskers here as well. They went seam up. So it's going to be interesting tonight. There's a lot of little individual battles that's going to add to the flavour. And the Lions themselves, what will they want to set with this sort of lineup? What will they be comfortable to go and defend later on this evening?
Well, I think the big thing is that your power play is very, very important. If you win a toss, you elect to bowl first, and you can get a wicket or two in the power play, you really put your opposition under pressure. And that's the big thing that World Sports Betting Western Province has got to do. is to try and get pressure on early, try and get early wickets, because I tell you what, this, as I said, this Lions batting lineup is potent. And we all know what Ryan Rickleton, well, he's got 1250, 82 matches, average of 27, a strike rate, that's what you look at, of 134, and a best of 98. But Carl Simmons has been wonderful with the ball as well. For Western Province, 37 wickets in his 35 matches, and he's been a stalwart. He's going to open the bowling from the Weinberg end. You're going to have left arm spin, so that's what's going to happen.
And immediately a great individual battle. Carl Simmons has been Western Province's top wicket taker in this competition so far. 11 wickets, best of 2 for 16, and going at an economy of 6.3. And he's going to go up against Ryan Rickleton, that's the leading run scorer in the Lions outfit, with 200 already next to his name at an average of 33. And here we go.
Our first delivery. False alarm, false start.
Was 1st of April's gone?
Yes, 1st of April's gone. We had the 6 o'clock train also hooting on its way to Cape Town. Underway we are. Just driven down the ground for a single. Normally the way you would want to start off, get your innings, get the feel of the, bat on ball. And I think any batsman, the nerves are there. Your first delivery is always important. You want to get off the mark as soon as possible. Reza Hendricks now facing, he's been in a rich famous form. He's been really fantastic in his career. He's really come on leaps and bounds.
Interesting, Reza Hendricks also lying second in the Lions ranks, 167 runs. But the one stat that you won't want me to mention, he's one of 4 players that has 2 ducks this season. Hopefully I haven't put the commentary curse on him.
It happens to the best of players, Johan. I mean, the greatest players in the world, the Laras, the Tendulkars, they've all gone out for naught. The Cullises, the Smiths. They've all been out for naught in their career.
And it doesn't matter who you are and what you've played, that run will be most valuable to get him off the mark. That's a good start from Simmons.
Yeah, he's been on target in season. He's got a lot of flight, bit of guile, and he knows when to get it through flatter. Speaking to the groundsman earlier on this evening, and also to the coach, I said, the wicket looks a bit, on a slow side and tacky, and whoa! It's a good delivery. And the groundsman was saying, it's that time of the year where it gets cooler in Cape Town, and he was talking about early morning fog and mist and the dew on the pitch, and how long it took him during the day to actually get it dry. Luckily today there's a bit of a wind blowing, which, and I think the wind is a bit northerly, it's died down, but there was quite a bit of wind early on today. Good start for Kyle, good start for Western Province, 3 without loss.
It's a change in variation from what we saw last time around. I mentioned the seam approach, and looks like Bjorn Hendricks is walking towards his mark, and that they'll go seam up from the other end. But brilliant start by a man that's certainly contributed to the success of Western Province, Carl Simmons, and they've got so much variation in their bowling lineup. Wayne Parnell playing his 300th T20 match today. What a milestone for another season campaigner in South African cricket.
Yeah, and Bjorn Hendricks has been a stalwart. Also for Western Province, 129 wickets in his economy average of 23.8 for a fast bowler, left arm seam. And I remember when he burst onto the scene, he was quick. And then, unfortunately, what happened? He was, a lot of back injuries, and took off the pace. But he still can swing the ball prodigiously, and that's good. That you want to see from a left-hander, that he can swing the ball, and that's how you get batsmen in trouble. No slip in position. Got a third man and the fine leg up in the circle. There's a bit of movement there. First up.
It's great that you mentioned that, because I was watching Bjorn Hendricks go through his warm-up routine, and he was swinging the ball, really moving the ball. But to your point, and that's been an approach that we've seen recently in T20 matches. Western Province in their last outing, they did not play with a slip throughout the match. We had no slips, no gullies. Carl Verena was keeping, and they had the third man and fine leg in the circle throughout.
You got the square leg out on the boundary, and then you got, you know, the cover boundary on the point on the fence. I'm not a fan of that, but I suppose with T20, if it's a bit shorter and it gets cut away, then there is a fielder to cut off the boundary, and especially in the power play. So yeah, it's justification. But I think when the power play is done, I would, you know, if I'm beating the bat and I'm bowling a good line and length, getting the ball to swing, it's worthwhile for a ball or two just to put a slip in.
Well, that is short. There is cover on the boundary, so it will result in another single.
Interesting to see what the field placing these two reads. It seems the same. Square leg on the boundary and the point boundary. And extra cover and mid off, wideish mid off, mid on. The important thing is up front is to bowl to that field. So important, because these guys, they just go over the top. I mean, they just let it go. I just think sometimes in the Western Cape and on these wickets here, you play a lot on the front foot. Oh, it's a good delivery. It's better than mounts out the off stump.
Lovely line and length, and again it brings you back to what you've alluded to. Will it trigger Calvareno's mind to say maybe there is a bit of movement worth taking, not the risk, but maybe just showing Reza Hendricks that there's a slip coming in, that they're anticipating the ball moving across him and maybe finding the outside edge. But at this stage, no movement from Calvareno's side. He's keeping his field as is.
Probably saying let's defend the runs rather and not let them get to the start. But they anticipated it's another good delivery. Single. It's been a good start this.
Absolutely. They'll take 5 without the loss of a wicket inside the first 11 balls. They'll take that against 2 explosive batters. They're probably just finding their feet and the measurement of the pitch and then deciding, right, we've protected, we've negotiated the first couple of overs. Do they give Simmons another one? Do they change tactics, maybe bringing a Wayne Parnell seam? I think that's the beauty of T20 cricket, the variations.
Cut away. That will go for 4. No, not at all. It'll be cut off there in the boundary and 2 runs. Yeah, I must say the Western Province have also been blessed over the years with left-arm seamers. You look at the time when Garth LaRue played here, and you had Stephen Jeffries who bowled from the Calvin, you got Buren, they had Brett Schultz here, and then also Pup Willoughby. I mean, he was a wonderful swing bowler, left-arm seam. Used to run in from the Calvin Grove end. Charles Willoughby. And then they were blessed to have Charles Langeveld, Tanner Marcus. Wayne Parnell now, from the Wynberg end in his 300th game. 317 wickets. And the best of 5 for 30, that was in Ireland, in Bistro. They got 5 for 30. So 300th match, he'd like to get a couple of wickets and that will make his night. See his team to victory. There's plenty of batting in this Lions to come. Whoa. I look at that scoreboard and I see Rickleton, Hendricks, Van der Dissen, Hamza, Mulder, Potgieter, Jones. Fortuyn is no slouch with the bat either. So that is a potent batting lineup. Oh, that was a bit uppish.
Just checked his shot, and thankfully, I think if he went through it, it might have been a different result. But I love this battle. Wayne Parnell would be very accustomed and very aware of the strengths and the weaknesses of these two that's in front of him. For him, important to find good rhythm and a good start. Against the Tuskers here at Newlands, he was only used for a couple of overs.
Oh gosh, that's an almighty swing. Inside edge gone for 4. With fine leg up in the circle. And that's a very short boundary. Both ends. On the Wynberg end to the Calvin Grove end.
You probably understand that it's been a very quiet 2 overs for the visitors, and we anticipated that there would be a shot in anger at some stage. The first move on the chessboard comes from Rickleton, just moved towards Parnell, the inside edge that you can't protect. No one there.
Well, just the one thing, you don't keep these players quiet for a long time, especially in the power play. And Rickleton heaved that away again. Thinking of a second, but good fielding on the boundary.
Rickleton just slipped at the non-striker's end, and probably just stopped the thought process of a possible second.
The thing is, we've got to keep these two quiet, because once they get going, and for the distance to come in at 3, Western Province will have their work cut out here tonight. Oh, that's a glorious stroke.
Lovely.
Oh!
Pitched up, got the treatment. 4 to Reza Hendricks. Already the most productive over of the innings thus far. 10 runs off the first 4 deliveries from the opening Parnell over.
We just got into such a good position. It was up, he got the feet in line, head still, hit through the line. Exquisite timing. Better delivery. Parnell just pulled it back a little bit. Not getting Reza Hendricks to get on that front foot and drive.
So they've taken 11 off this over. 1 ball to come. Rickleton has shown that he's going to take the attack to Parnell. Square leg boundary still protected. They're inviting the shot over the top.
And he bowls it shorter, right into the rib cage. And Rickleton just tucks it around.
So apart from the risk in that opening delivery, that one that went to the fine leg fence, no real risk attached to the shot making, and that delivered 12 runs. So a healthy over for the visitors, and the changes continue to come.
Yeah, Nabi now, also left arm seamer, will 41 wickets in these 35 games.
Tewekaya Nabe from Fort Beaufort.
Eastern Cape.
Yes, Eastern Cape man, 7 wickets, best of 2 for 28.
I'm sorry, he's not a left arm seamer. I was thinking of Nyako, the other bowler. But he's had a good season thus far also, Nabi. Oh! That's high in the air. Oh, Bjorn Hendricks just not getting there. Rickleton has made his intentions clear.
Yeah, no surprises, they're not going to let him settle. I guess the one column that Nabe will look at is the economy rate, 9.14 in this competition so far. And the Lions will know all about that. They'll want to put some immediate pressure on him.
Force the Western Province to make the changes. Rickleton, yeah, just not getting that cue the way he wanted to do. The little inside edge almost of a blob of a shot. And, we know how dangerous he is. Now that's the difference down at the coast, that the ball doesn't sometimes skid on as quickly sometimes as you anticipate. Is what happens on the high fell. I mean, the Wanderers, we know that if you bowl short there, you're going to fetch. At Centurion, it's the same thing. The coast, sometimes the ball just holds a little, it keeps lower. So you've got to get your line and length. And your timing. Reza just nudges it on the leg side. Not a good delivery from Nabe at all. And another boundary to the Lions.
Wrong length, not protected there. Can't do much. Calvarena has his fine leg up, and again, just presence of mind from Hendricks. Knew exactly where the field was, and he needed just tickle it around the corner, which he did, and he found the fence with ease. So that's released a lot of pressure. This over already worth 7.
That's what I love about batsmen. You know, you get the ball for 4, Next one, take a single. Such good cricket. All the experience that Reeza Hendricks has. He's just been around for a while. He's been very unlucky too in his career. Been to a couple of World Cups and not being used to play where he should have been playing. That shot, it's going to get the treatment it deserves. Pulled away in front of square.
It'll frustrate Carl Verreynne. It's the wrong length from this wicket. It's not for Nabe's pace. That's not where you want to be. And sitting up nicely, and Rickleton really needs no second invitation. He gives it the full treatment, gets the desired result. It's another 4. The pressure is on Western Province. A productive Parnell opening over that went for 12. This one is already worth 12 with a ball to spare.
Yeah, they're just not quick enough to bowl that short delivery. This time he just tucks it in around the corner, Rickleton.
It was interesting to see the approach or the result from Carl Verreynne moved the second man across to the square leg fence, and those were the 2 boundary runners. One of them came into play, but another 13 run over yielded good results for the Lions. They 32 without the loss of a wicket, 2 overs remaining in the power play. What does Carl Verreynne do?
Now he's gone back to Buren Hendricks. You see, this is exactly what you wouldn't want him to do. Buren came on for 1 over because you want to keep him back to the end of the innings. But your 2 bowlers, Parnell and Nabi, both went for runs, which now necessitates Buren Hendricks having to come back earlier in the attack than what probably Carl Verreynne anticipated to do. That's be-wided. And if he has an over where he goes for a bit, then Western Province are really under the cosh here.
Absolutely, it has forced Carl Verreynne's hand slightly to bring back Hendricks, who had a very good opening over that only produced 4 runs. That's the first extra then of the innings.
Oh, that's good. Short, and it gets the treatment. Can't bowl that length, especially to Rickleton on this wicket. So why have you changed up now? I mean, I can't understand. He's had such a brilliant first over. He's getting the ball up. He was getting the ball to move. Suddenly now, he didn't bowl 1 short ball in his first over. Suddenly now, why do something different? Why? Now that's necessitated in the square leg boundary, and we've got Cow on the fence as well. Still over after this in the power play. Better. See, when he gets that length and he gets that's where he's got to hit. He's dangerous.
So the 2 boundary fielders out on the leg side for Rickleton, who's on 22, Hendricks on 13, 37 without the loss of a wicket. Much better line and length.
That's what his captain's going to need from him, you know, because if all your bowlers are going to go each start, got seeded that boundary and went for 4, still good figures. He's got to come back in this over now and make sure that not more damage is done. And these 2 has got a good start. They had 8.2 runs to the over. Good start. No wicket.
And that's the important column.
Oh, that's bludgeoned, but well stopped as well. Good cricket all round.
Certainly safe for there, Jeremy.
Oh. Certainly gives it a thump, this Rickleton. He's a good player. Interesting to see when South Africa picks their team for the T20 World Cup, which will be what a nice place to go to. Somehow I wish I could disappear in a cooler bag or in a clothing bag and get to the West Indies, to America. See the field they're building in New York as well at the moment for the World Cup.
T20 cricket all round, and the Indian Premier League will finish in Chennai, and then all attention turns to the World T20.
South Africa still goes to Ireland in May sometime, prior to the World Cup. There's a couple of T20 matches, and after the World Cup there's a tour to the West Indies, 2 test matches, couple of one-dayers and T20s as well. And then we have Pakistan here at the end of the year.
Absolutely.
New Year's test at Newlands. Nicely driven. That's a good shot. Well fielded as well. Simmons making sure that he got around to that. Now Buren Hendricks pulled it back nicely after being going for that boundary. So 5 overs now. 41 without loss. And I think Johanna's going to take a welcome break for the next 5 overs. And we're going to have the speedster. Former 100-meter sprinter, tall, lanky, Eugene Molian, popping in here next to me. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Frederick. Good evening, all. Such a pleasure here to sit next to and commentate on this game. It's been a pleasure so far. Probably not for Western Province here, but it's certainly been a pleasure just listening to you, and then for my first commentary stint to be sitting alongside you here.
Did you ever think that would happen?
Not a chance. Not a chance.
Well, Wayne Parnell now from the Calvin Grove end. He started off his first over from the Weinberg end and got tapped a little bit. Yeah, you being a bowler yourself and played quite a bit of provincial cricket. Sometimes I just cannot understand when bowlers start off well that they, and I've just said to Johan also earlier on that Buren Hendricks in his first over didn't bowl a short ball at all. He got it up, he got it to swing, it was nice and full, and then comes back his second over, then bowls it short and bang, goes for 4.
Yeah, one will never understand what the reason and what the planning might be. Maybe a conversation there, they might want to get that a little bit shorter, but I can't agree with you more, Jeremy. And what I liked about Buren Hendricks' first over is he really hit the pitch. And sometimes at ball, I think he beat Reza Hendricks just on the outside edge there, got through, and he only went for Misley 4 in that over. And I think Barney sometimes, the ball he got hit for 4 when he's bowled here from the Weinberg in, it sort of was just a floater, just floated out. I think he was trying to get the ball to swing instead of hitting the pitch. There's a sheen on this pitch here that would suggest that if you hit that pitch, it might be able to stand up for you as well.
And it's not going to be as quick as normal because you're getting to the cold period here in Cape Town now. You know. That's gone, the proverbial mile. It's gone almost out of Newlands. That's a big shot. Gone for maximum.
Massive shot there as we end the final over of the power play. And Reza Hendricks, he want to cash in on anything on offer here. It's been an absolutely magnificent start here by DP World Lions here. 49 without loss.
Yeah, the late Conrad Hunt always used to say, you got to hit the cricket ball in sight, out of sight. And that went out of sight for sure. Bang! He's got again. 6 more. 50 up. Now the Lions are roaring.
They are certainly roaring here. And again, carbon copy again, getting the same result. This time a lot flatter. It must be said. But excellent stuff. I will say this while he's still out there. Watching Reza Hendricks bat, he's always been my favorite batter to watch.
Well, the selectors didn't think it by not picking him.
I'm not a selector, Jeremy.
Well, I'm just saying, he's such a good player. That will be wired when he gets going. He's elegant. He's just got all the shots. Very unassuming character, quiet in his own way. But my goodness, he can play.
He might be quiet, but certainly his bat talks here.
Yeah, I remember working at Griquas Cricket He was a little kid, 2, 3 years old, always used to come with his bat down to De Beers Diamond Oval and used to hit balls all day. Good fielding.
Yeah, that's what they have to do here. WSB, Western Province, they've got to find a way just to peg things back here. And that, we've got one more ball left in this power play. Like I said, Jeremy, it's been a very, very good power play here for DP World Lions.
Oh, it's been excellent. I mean, they batting at 9.8 runs to the over. Wow. And if these two stay in for a while, it could be over 10 to 12.
One begs to ask the question, doesn't Rickleton want to move to Cape Town? He certainly loves batting here.
Pulled away. Well, someone's got to take out the checkbook and get him here. 10 overs, 6 overs now. Power play, something of the past. 58 without loss. And the Lions in a very, very good position.
Yeah, that they are. Rickleton on 27. Hendricks, he's on 29. And these two are really going about their business in right way. Now we're going to have Georgie Linda, and what has he got to offer here to try and stem this flow of runs here? 9.7 at the minute.
Oh, his best is 4 for 19. That was the Western Province against the KwaZulu-Natal Inland. That was in Cape Town. It's been a long time ago. He goes in economy rate of 7.5. Not too bad for a spinner. Go with that rate.
You reckon there'll be a bit of grip out there?
Yeah, I reckon so. I saw the way Kyle Simmons was bowling early on. He really started off well. These figures were 1 for 3 in his first over. George Linder just sometimes has a tendency to drag it down a little bit. I like the George Linder that gives it a bit of air, a bit of guile, and really gets the batsman above the eye level.
Well worked by Rickleton. Do you reckon that's ever going to happen in the shorter format, T20? Guys don't want to be hit. There's still a place for it, though.
Yeah, no. When T20 cricket started, spinners were not picked.
No.
Never. Spinners play a very, very important role these days in... they take a hell of a lot of wickets, certainly, and especially in those wickets in India. When you... I know Bangalore probably will be the quickest wicket in India at Chunasamy Stadium. Certainly when I was there, but the other wickets around the country, you get to Delhi, Mohali, Hyderabad, it's flat. And if you don't have proper spinners, you fetch all day.
Well, let's see what Georgie can dish up here. Started very wisely here, just 2 runs off his first 2 balls. A bit wide, width on offer there, just managed to get that too long off. And what I like about him, Jeremy, he's quite tall and bowls it from quite a nice high height, but he really bowls the ball into the surface.
Yeah, when he's doing that, that's when he's dangerous. Lovely fella, George Linder. Joined him on the tour to India as well with the A team. He's like Buren, Tommy the Taurus. They like to walk around. At least there were a few players that didn't spend the whole tour on Xboxes in their hotel rooms. At least they got out.
Oh, that's also important, though. Getting out. You don't want to be sitting in your hotel room, especially when you're on tours.
Absolutely. You just don't know whether you get an opportunity to get back there again.
No, you don't, Jeremy. Now then, 2 balls to go. That's the 7th over.
Oh, well bowled. Beat him there, neck and cropper.
And this is where you start looking at how you're going to get out of this over. He's bowled a very good over here. He's only gone for 4, 1 ball to go. And all Georgie wants here is just maybe just go for 1 at worst.
For 2.
Take that now and run.
Yeah, he's bowled excellently well. Well done. That was a great over. Well bowled.
And that's backed up by the fielders as well, keeping it down to 1. And as you rightly said, it was a very good over. Bowl 5 just conceded in that Georgie Linder over. And looks like we're going to go back to Nabe here. Isn't it time maybe just to bowl both? left arm spin here, maybe bring Carl Simmons back on. He's got the advantage now of having the field spread as well, and maybe the spinners can really curtail this run rate a little bit.
Well, now that you at least can have spread the field, bringing Nabe on, he's got to make sure that he doesn't bowl 6 balls now. He's got to get it into an area where he bowls to his field.
The thing with Nabe is he hasn't got the pace of a Bjorn Hendricks. So he's got to be so precise as to what he wants to do and what he wants to try and execute here. The margin of error is that less.
That's a good point.
And he's going to come around the wicket, and we've already seen Rickleton loves to favour that sort of deep mid-wicket area there. But now Midoff is up in the ring. He's got to get his length right here, Jeremy.
Oh, yeah. Middle up in the ring, and he's got the square leg. He's got I'll tell you what.
Oh no.
Wide it.
I was just about to say, this field suggests that it's going to be very close and tight. You can't give any room. The 4 fielders in the circle are all on that offside, one of them being mid-off.
Then you got the long on. You've got deep mid-wicket. You've got the man square on the boundary. And then you've got the cover point boundary. Oh, that's gone out of Newlands. He picked that up with disdain. He hit it. Dispatched.
Didn't we say Rickleton favours that area? He loves it there, the deep mid-wicket, or the cow area, and he picked that up as clean as a knot. And as that ball went in the air, Mr. Frederick said that ball is out before it even got there.
And you cannot bowl that length on this wicket. You are asking for trouble.
Try that again, and he just misses out, but the ball's gone too deep backward square. And that is why I said the pace at Nabe, he just can't afford to be anywhere off his line and length.
So what is the length you would say for a bowler of his pace? Where should he bowl? And how do you change the field in where he is? And what would you go outside of stump wide?
I'm a big believer that the field dictates how you're going to bowl. So with the way that field was set up with mid-off up in the ring, there's nowhere going to be anywhere, maybe even back of a length. It's always going to be a little bit shorter into the body. That's a great shot. That's a tremendous shot by Reza Hendricks. Through extra cover all along the carpet for 4.
Well, that's just so soft on the eye. My goodness.
And just to come back to your point, like, the field will suggest how you're going to bowl. So you can't go anywhere like fuller length. So it suggests to me that it was going to be just back of a length, a little bit shorter into the body, where most of the fielders are. The problem I have with that is the pace of Nabe. Though change of pace, and I'm not gonna veer away from your question. So for me, with the pace that he has, you can have third man final up. Just gives you a little bit more options. Going slightly wider as well, wide and full, and forcing them to hit and trying to reach out for it a little bit. That might be an option. We haven't seen much of that. I think that was the first sort of change of pace as well. So they've got to find a way just to change things up here against these two.
Got all that one. It's gone airborne. You've got Midoff in the circle. And Reza Hendricks is having a good day. And Nabe is being pummeled to all sides of the ground here at Newlands.
Just can't bowl there. Again, the field with Midoff up in the ring, that's a free hit. You just have to get the back through and get your hands through the ball. And Reza Hendricks, as you said, very good on the eye. Didn't have to really hit that hard at all.
He's picked this one up. Oh, it's going to be one bounce to the fielder. Now, Western Province are definitely under the pump here at the moment. 82 without loss. It's the Lions, the DP World Lions. They're in a good position. 10 runs and over.
Well, and will we see Nabe again? He's 2 overs going for 32 runs.
We've still got Nyaku to bowl if you're going to use him, because he can also still bowl. I know Katimi, he bowled now and then at John James.
So this is the off spinner now into the attack here for WSB, Western Province. Is he the man that Kyle Verena can here turn to just see if he can just stem this run flow? Because these two batters from the Lions are making it look very, very simple and very easy on the eye.
The spinners have pulled it back. They've all been not too bad. So maybe it's a good option.
That's not the worst option for sure, Jeremy. And I think it's one that they have to try and do, get the pace off a little bit, because the seamers so far have gone the distance a little bit. Yes, we've seen a really good over from Bjorn Hendricks first up. But these men from the high file, they love it. They love playing the shots.
Yeah, no, they do. They have all that freedom at the Wanderers.
Is this okay? Is this the time to say that I have played for both teams?
And the Dragons. Where haven't you been?
No, those are all right. Played a B game for Boland.
And you played in Ireland.
That's correct. Rickleton going after it a little bit again here. A little bit of a misfield, and Hendricks is quick. And that's another aspect of his game that I really like. He runs quite hard between the wickets, whether he's batting or at the non-strikers end, running for his mate. And I think that's also part and parcel why I like him. He's a really good team man.
And the one thing that he can do, it looks like sometimes he'll get in and he'll be a slow starter. And when you get, like, especially to the middle stages of the game where you've got to run hard sometimes, because now the field is spread out and boundaries are not that easy to find, then you've got to be able to run well in between the wickets, and that's what Hendricks does so good.
Especially when you don't get the option of getting the boundaries. And these two really have sort of done that well in this just after the power play.
Nicely worked away on the onside.
Still.
James, well, it's a good one. He's not too bad. He's got on for 5 in his first over. So did Linda.
Still the big name still to come. Rassie van der Dussen, he's still in the hats there.
Yeah, he will prove himself prior to the World Cup.
You got Hamza there as well. You got Mulder, guys that can really accelerate and really take the game even further away. Mulder, he can clear the ropes as well. He's a strong hitter. Are we in for some big hitting in the later innings here? 11 overs to go.
And they, listen, mate, with wickets in hand, I don't want to see where this total could be. We could be 200 here.
Yeah.
And chasing at Newlands, sometimes. Because I just think if you look at the Western Province batting lineup, more Bird Verena are, but I tell you what, it's very brittle.
That is a glorious shot by Reza Hendricks, just hitting that sort of over extra cover. It's just gone for 1, but he's still my favorite cricketer to watch.
Because if you look at comparing the two batting lineups, you've got Rickleton, Hendricks, Van der Dussen, Hamza, Mulder, Potgieter, Jones. And then you look at the Western Province batting lineup. Yeah, there are some guys that can, but I mean, you know, I just feel that they are better like this, in my opinion. Is that going to go?
It's gone for 4. Again, the fielder trying his best to try and cut that off. But yeah, I hear what he's saying about the Western Province team, but you know, maybe it's 1 or 2 of them. It might be their day, and they can go on. They're going to have to do that because we're going to be in for a big total here.
And Moore's just come off 100 birds.
That's correct, yeah.
I like I mean, Smith is not playing today. I like the look of him as well, Daniel Smith. Oh, that's well played. That's a good shot. Better the field, and it's headed straight between the two fielders at long on, at long off.
And what a viewpoint we had from that there. That was hit gun barrel straight. Made its way over the marking that you see there and dissected those two fielders. None of them could get there, and again, these two have moved on in the score now, 96 without loss. Jeremy, one begs to ask the question, what can these men, the Lions, get up to? Because I tell you, with the powerhouse still to come, Western Province need to find a way here to get wickets. It's not about dots now, they need to find wickets.
They need to get wickets, honey. Otherwise it's going to be 200 and more. I reckon. Well, that's very wide.
It's a great take there by Carl Verreynne.
I'm sure he must be a bit animated at the moment, thinking, oh, what? Next, my bowlers are not. That's better.
Well, there's now a battle of who's going to get to their 50s first here between these two. Rickleton, he's on 49. Hendricks on strike now on 45. 2 balls to go here. The hundreds in sight as well.
Oh, he's hit that. Was too short and got the treatment again. 100 up now for the Lions in the 10th over. Oh, this is starting to look ominous for Western Province. 102 without loss. Would have been better 102 for 5, but I'll tell you what, 102 without loss. They are in total command, the Lions.
The Lions are definitely roaring here. 100 coming up in the 10th. And it looks like Reza Hendricks, he will be the first to 50, and it's been a great knock and a privilege to watch. The man still going about his business.
Yeah, it's been a good knock. Reza Hendricks 50 up. And look how well he's played all around the wicket, including 2 6s and 5 4s. And on that note, it's now time for me to have a welcome break for a few overs when Johan Ferreira will join you, Eugene.
And as you join us here, Johan, what magnificent stuff the DP Lions have dished up here for us. These two, Rickleton and Hendricks, have certainly been showing their class with a bat. Really batted nicely. They've got the boundaries as well, but the running between the wickets has also really helped them to that total. And Western Province have got it all to do here.
Absolutely, and looking at records so far this season, the highest score belongs to the Lions, 223 for 5. They're well on course to push that and build on that 223, and with the power hitters to come. I think Rassie van der Dussen is sitting there licking his lips saying, I can't wait to get a piece of this. In the meantime, George Linder, he's bowled 1 over that cost 5, slightly short and well worked into a potential gap but cut off, which will result in a single. But the Razors on. Rickleton on 49 needs a single for his half century. It's been a brilliant start. The foundation has been laid. We spoke about your career earlier. Jeremy touched on it. And your last T20 fixture was this exact fixture in 2007. Lions, Western Province, although played in Johannesburg.
Yeah, at the bull ring. Well, a packed bull ring, and must say, for that final.
Oh, there we go. Rickleton works it into the gap, looks to the heavens, and will raise his bat to acknowledge yet another milestone. What a class act Ryan Rickleton is. What an opening partnership this is to send out in a T20 fixture, any fixture for that matter. Rickleton's 50, coming off 35 balls, somewhat slower than his partner Hendricks, who reached his milestone of 26 deliveries. But brilliant knock by Rickleton once again.
Sort of down the leg side, just sort of paddle down to deep square. And yes, Johan, these two have really been good together. I think Western Province should try and find a way to get Rickleton to come and play at Newlands. I said there to Jeremy when we were on air, even when the SA T20 was going on, he was scoring runs for fun here. And again, it shows he loves batting here at Newlands. It's another sort of quiet over, though, from Georgie Linder.
Gave himself some room, and it beats Verreynne as well. He won't appreciate that. It's going to result in a bye.
Yeah, just trying to give himself room, trying to hit that over extra. Well spotted there by Georgie Linder. Extras have moved on to 5, but 10 wickets in hand. What can these men get up to?
Current rate at 10 to the over. Again, Hendricks just pushing very hard, thinking about the second. Oh, just wonderful running. And it just shows the value, appreciating where you've put the ball and the value of turning a single into a two. Good lesson for the youngsters watching this broadcast.
Especially when you don't hit the boundaries, so you can turn that ones into twos, and that makes up for it as well. And that is the important thing about T20 cricket. You don't want too many dot balls, and you also don't want to just get. You've got to focus on those ones as well, because those are important.
Half stop by Linda, but no danger as the communication is pretty solid. But it's a good over by Linda. And Verena, it's going to be interesting how he goes about the rest of this innings. 11 overs down, 110 on the board, Rickleton on 50, Hendricks on 55. But if you look at the bowling analysis and the bowling card, the taps have opened up on the seam. The seamers have leaked the runs. But the last Simmons over went for a couple, but the containing job has been done by the spinners, and you and Jeremy alluded to the fact that it's been, I wouldn't say something new, but not something that was accustomed to T20 cricket, but nowadays so many variations, and John James has done pretty nicely. His best bowling analysis was on this very ground recently against the Tuskers. They used him for 2 overs. Carl Verena gave him 2 overs on that occasion. He didn't bowl him through the 4, and James is going to get a second.
Yeah, for me, what stands out is if you look at that scoreboard there, and it says the run rate achieved at the minute is 10 runs and over, and you look at bowling figures of Georgie Linder going for 11 off his 2, so he's round just about 5.5. You look at the man who's going to bowl here now, John James, he's gone for 5. So you've got them going at 5s and just slightly over. Certainly that should be an indication for you, right? Let's turn to these spinners, let's turn to them. You said Simmons went for runs. Georgie Linder, he's done a good job there. 2 overs for 11. John James, 1 overs for 5. Let's see if we can keep it with him and put the onus now back on these two, Rickleton and Hendricks, to see if they can try and maybe put pace on the ball, try and get boundaries, because what they are doing is they are giving them the singles, and that is sort of pegging them back or holding them there at 10 runs and over at the minute.
Well, Western Province need a breakthrough. The question is, where is it going to come from? Slightly short, but there is protection on the boundary.
Yeah, bowled into the surface, and that's what John James does. He just bowls it into the surface. The guys that are very successful, Georgie Linder bowled it into the surface with his left arm spin as well. So Rickleton, he does favour that leg side. Where's he going to go here?
Question is straight. They push hard again, but this time it's cut off quite easily. And good job by John James. I like what I saw from him against the Tuskers as well. He does that containing job, and at this stage it's much needed from a Western Province point of view.
Don't put the mockers on him here. Come on now, Johan. He's bowled 2 good balls here. Let him keep going.
Hendricks came down the track, but well spotted by James. It's another single. It's gold at the moment for Province.
This is massive. In the context of what we've seen early on, getting the run rate to under 10s is going to be important here. So halfway through this over, 3 balls to go. Rickleton on strike. That's just going to be 1, because that boundary is not that long out there. So you're on 2 balls to go. Don't say anything.
No, I won't. I promise you. We've done enough of those in commentary stints. Well, he does advance. He goes up and over, and it's coming down with snow.
It's a big hit there by Reza Hendricks. Came down the wicket. Ball went high in the air. What a shot that was. And again, now, that play put the emphasis on him. He then won that battle. He came down the wicket, hit him for 6. Sometimes you just got to hold your hand up and say, well batted.
No surprise that he pulls back the length. Anticipated that there would be another advance, but James' 2 overs has gone for 15, 7.5. You'll take that in the context of a scoreboard that reads 120 without the loss of a wicket after 12 overs. But it was a matter of time, Eugene. You just 2 quality players. They just won't allow a man that's fairly new in his career to settle down. Yeah. Back to seam we go. Bjorn Hendricks will walk to his mark to start his third over. He's gone for 13 again in the context of a run rate achieved that reached 10. He's done his job.
So again, just looking at the field, so I'd like to try and get a viewpoint as to what you might get here from him with third man and fine leg up. So are we going to see a lot of cutters, a lot of slow balls now with the third man and fine leg up? But they're persisting with mid-off in the ring. You just got to see if that's still going to be the case. He's now opted to get third man back, and mid-off is still in the ring. Can't give him any width.
Absolutely, and he's got to attack the offside. That fourth stump line. Well, that's the advent of T20 cricket. This, the flip shots and everything else. You take the coaching manual and you chuck that out of the window and you play what's in front of you. And at this stage, there's a third man back that you alluded to, and he tried this ramp shot. He's got fine leg inside the circle, both well set. One on 52, one on 63. Hendricks on 63, 120.
I'm going to come back to this delivery, or that shot that we've just seen after this delivery from Bjorn Hendricks. That's hit hard.
Oh, is it the first? Oh, no!
I was about to tell you, if you're Ryan Rickleton and you hit the ball so well, and your favorite area is in the leg side, as you've just gone there, why do you want to play a ram shot? And that time he got away with it. And that was straight down his throat. It was Kyle Simmons, unfortunate. Rickleton, he's dropped, and everything seems to be going the way of the DP lines here.
Well, that's the wickets that they so desperately needed. It was straight down his throat. Never such a thing as an easy catch, but that's one you should take. And you don't get many of these opportunities. Oh, it's up and over again. It's somewhat lucky off the top of the bat. Does it fly the distance? Yes, it does. Insult to injury. Salt in the wounds of Hendricks. He can only stand mid-pitch and wonder what could have been. But it is another boundary, and it is a maximum to the Lions tally. And when it's your day, it's your day. And you've bowled enough to appreciate what Hendricks is going through.
No, 100% Dan. Again, it was not going to be a full ball. It was going to be a ball back of the length. And what Hendricks actually did there, he sort of preempted as to what the length it might be. And then he just sort of went with it a little bit. Was a little bit fortunate as well, with the top edge flying all the way, bouncing into the boards there. But I think, again, as you say, we've got to give kudos and got to say well batted there, because they are a little preempting about what the length might be and then trying to put the ball away for a boundary.
This time work into the gap. They're going to push very hard. They're going to turn. They're going to make a one into another two. Having just taken the 6, great batting by Hendricks. The combo of Rickleton and Hendricks is working wonders for the DP World Lions. 129 without the loss of a wicket. Opening stand inside 13 overs.
License, Johan. They've got license. But what, again, these two are doing so well is running between the wickets. 2 more runs added. Hendricks, he's under the pump here now. Apology, Bjorn Hendricks, I should say.
Just moved slightly towards his off stump and then adjusts and works it to the man on the cover boundary.
Yeah, brings up 130 there, 7.1 overs to go, Johan. I just feel here everything going the way of DP Lions, but it hasn't been something of luck. They've really gone out there and batted really well. Took the attack to the bowlers here of WSB Western Province. They had a quiet start in the first 2 overs, but after that they really took a liking to anything that was dished up.
This one is worked around the corner. Will the fielder cut it off, but they'll still get the 2. It's another productive over for the Lions, and the scoreboard moves on to 132 without the loss of a wicket after 13 overs, a rate of 10.2. And they can go from both ends. It's that time of the T20 innings where you just cash in. You've done the hard yards. Rickleton on 55, Hendricks on 72.
It's been that time a while ago with 10 wickets in hand, Johan. Let me tell you, they want to go out now and try and get as many as they can. It's going to be Georgie Linder. He's back in the attack here, the left-arm spinner for WSB, Western Province. And Carl Verheyen is just asking anyone, can you get me a wicket? Because we need to get somebody new in here. But even that's not going to might not stem the flow, because the guys coming in can hit a long ball as well.
Well, I wanted to say, you're going to celebrate the first wicket if it does come, and then you have Rassie van der Dussen walk in. Celebrations will probably be short-lived, but it's the ideal start for the visitors. Positions 2 and 3 going up against one another, both on 21 log points. A lot to play for. Here's the most economical bowler in the Western Province lineup to date. Linda goes to Hendricks.
One must also say the fitness of these two to keep running as hard as they have done throughout this 13.1 overs. They haven't stopped running. They've kept the pressure on the fielders, and more often than not, they've come back for 2 runs as well. And that just keeps the scoreboard moving in a positive direction. And let's not forget the amount of boundaries they've hit.
So, where is the boundary scoring opportunity for Rickleton? He's fancied that leg side, and he'll keep attacking it. If it's there to be hit, which it is, and it's going that way again, and the result is the same. It's 6 more to Rickleton.
If you can hit a ball like that, why do you want to ramp and do anything else? He's hit that again, and he's picked it up again as clean as anything, and it's another maximum. 139 run partnership between these two, and it could still be growing ever bigger.
He tried the same this time around. Failed to make any contact, but he's not hiding his cards, Eugene. He's favouring the leg side. He's favouring the gap that's very visible, and he knows that he can clear the boundary with ease. Just needs the length. That's what he's looking for. Gets it again, into the gap again, it's over the ropes again.
Same shot, same result, but this time it went a lot flatter into the crowd. That ball went. What a partnership this has been. Appreciated by everyone, I can tell you that, here at Newlands Cricket Ground. You can just sit and watch and awe these two as they go about their business. Partnership of 145.
Well, no one's getting the silent treatment. It's up again. It's 6 again. 150 launched in style.
This is batting like you haven't seen before here. But Ryan Rickleton, he loves batting here at Newlands. I said it before. He saw him here in the SA 20, and he's doing it buzz here for the Lions. Hitting the ball as clean as anything, and the confidence of the man to just keep going and back himself to clear the boundary as well.
Oh, he's going to be caught by Wayne Parnell. One too many, but he's done his job. Caught up with Hendricks, both on 73. The first wicket does fall after 14 overs. 151 for 1. Ryan Rickleton then walks back 73 from 46 deliveries, 5 fours and 4 huge sixes at a strike rate of 158.7. But Ryan Rickleton's job was done.
Firstly, the partnership there between these two, 151. Excellent from these two. But Ryan Rickleton, take a bow, some really good hitting. Excellent running also between the wickets. He was really up for this. And he really took a liking to anything that was dished up by Western Province, and he certainly put the DP Lions in what I would see as a commanding position.
What a knock, what a partnership. 151 in walks Rassie van der Dussen.
You get Rickleton, you get van der Dussen. You get Mulder then, Hamza, Potgieter.
They're all lining up. Well, Linda's, I started at the top of his over. I said the most economical bowler for Western Province today. That went out the window quickly.
You put the markers on him then.
I'll take that, George. I'll take that one for you. 3 overs, 1 for 30.
That's you, Johan. That's you. all on you. I'm passing the buck here.
I'll have to go and apologize to George afterwards.
Well, it's going to be Simmons now. See if he can maybe get a wicket and see if he can get the other man who's on 73, Reza Hendricks. 2 overs for 19 so far.
Rate of 10.8. That 223 is on. I was alluding to the highest score in the competition so far, and that belongs to the team batting at the moment.
Was that there at the bull ring?
It was against the G-Bets Rocks. It was into the legs. There's a leg by, and interesting enough, the second highest score belongs to the team fielding. 208 for 6 against the Tuskers.
So you're saying we're in for maybe a tight game here?
Well, let's see. Both can get to 200. That's for sure. That they have shown in this competition. You can only really judge a pitch when both teams have batted, but the foundation has been set. The Lions, I mean, it was always going to be a mouth-watering clash. 2 versus 3. Van der Dussen about to face up his first delivery.
Well, the intent that the DP Lions have shown us here, just with bat in hand from what we've seen, has been excellent.
Half a shout from Carl Verreynne, but he gave it away, moved towards the leg side, but I'll be more thankful about a rare dot in the innings.
I was just about to say that. We haven't had too many of them. They've been few and far between, bar the first 2 overs, which were miserly.
Works this into the gap for his first scoring shot, which will result in 2. So Rassie van der Dussen is off the mark.
Just shows how that ball were racing away towards that boundary. I thought it was just going to be an easy. It was going to be 2, but I thought the fielder will get there, but got as close to the boundary rope there as well. So conditions out there is really favouring for some excellent cricket to be played. Some excellent scoring conditions here, Johan.
Oh, what a lovely flighted delivery from Carl Simmons. Beats Van der Dussen. Not something that you can say regularly about a quality player that's out in the middle. But probably for Van der Dussen now, is just to get off strike, even being the seasoned campaigner that he is. He has a partner that's well set. And there we go. It's into a half gap. They'll think about 2, and again Hendricks is very quick.
And that's again an aspect of the game I really like about him. He really runs hard, not just for himself, but for his teammate on the other side. It was a good shot played into extra. And even a quiet over might not be that quiet for Western Province.
Finish is very important. It's another ball that's worked into a gap that they can turn into a 2. And again, just look at Hendricks, how quickly he speeds across the turf. Even having scored 73, just supporting Van der Dussen, who gets himself to 6 with a couple of doubles that was really complemented to the way Hendricks went about his business. That's 15 overs done and dusted. 158 for 1. Eugene Molion takes a well-deserved break, and Jeremy Fredericks moves in behind the microphone for the last 5 overs of what has been a wonderful display of batsmanship from the DP World Lions. 158 for 1. Jeremy, we saw the fall of the first wicket, but what a platform for the Lions to cash in and make the most of what has been done in this first 15 overs.
Absolutely. I mean, 220 should be on the cards here. They're going to go balls to the wall here. I think Reza Hendricks has looked fantastic. He's batted well. He runs so well between the wickets as well. But I mean, this is a fantastic score. I don't want to be the fielding side. Be now the receiving end of all of this, Johan.
Yeah, they've kept up with that rate achieved, that 10.5, 10.5, 10.8 region, and with so many wickets or so many batsmen still to come, they can really make the most of this. That's well bowled by George Linder, who's into his last over. 3.2 overs, 1 for 32. So he will bowl out. So Verreynne will have to make a change from the top. Look at the field. Three men players behind square on the offside.
pulled to the leg side now. Just a little bit short fraction, but the big thing is bowling to his field, only one. Yeah, this field, the offside, I tell you what, if that ball is short and cut away there and it goes through that region, we'll go for 4. Now I see there's a bit of a shift. Distance. It's been a polished knock from Reese Hendricks, really played nicely.
Such a quality player. You can just watch him bat the whole day.
Such good hands, I said earlier, and very nimble on his feet. That's what you want to have. Bob Homer always said to us when he coached us at Avondale, he said, if you're a good dancer, you can be a good batsman. You've got to be nimble on your feet. He's such a good coach, Robert Andrew Homer.
Yeah, what a contribution to world cricket.
Wow. Yeah, we miss him because I think his contribution would even been more had he been alive.
Oh, he's walked down the stumps. I walked down the pitch rather. Oh, that's a. They've missed. It's just been sloppy at times, Jeremy. That catch that was down the throat that they dropped. Now another opportunity that's gone a begging.
Well, that's what pressure does, and they have been sloppy, I must admit. So another opportunity gone a begging, and that's a big wicket. Had you got from the distance now? Just taking a wicket or two, Johan, that just brings pressure. Now the next man, and you're back in the game. But if you don't take your opportunities, you're really playing yourself out the game.
Oh, well done to George Linder, the way he came back, having taken some tap in his third over. His final analysis will read 4 overs, 1 for 34. The only man to pick up a wicket, the big scalp of Ryan Rickleton, but not before he did some major damage at the top of the order. 73. Hendricks still there on 76. Just a bit of a quiet start, finding his way. He's on 7, but it's been a scratchy 7. So it shows that we saw that in the first 2 overs as well. It will take some time to find the pace of the pitch and what the bowlers are doing, but we know the capabilities of a Van der Dussen.
Yeah, he's dangerous once he gets going. Linder is 4 overs, 1 for 34. Now Simmons back into the attack. He's going to. Well, he's been good, Carl Simmons. I don't think they'll come back to Longaby. He went for plenty.
Well, looking at that bowling card, Hendricks has one up his sleeve.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I can't see Nawe come back into the equation. John James has done well, 2 overs for 15, going at 7.5. So he has 2 left. Parnell, will we see him again? 2 overs for 29, going across the line. This time, no contact from Reza Hendricks. Maybe just a bit of pressure building. It's been a good little period for Western Province. So Parnell has 2, James has 2, Simmons bowling out, Hendricks has 1. After this, 3 more overs remaining. It's another good delivery and almost a clash mid-pitch.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see whether they'll bring Nabi back, which I doubt. I mean, as you said, Hendricks is what being the 17th over. Hendricks will probably bowl. Yeah, will they bring Parnell back? I mean, they James as the off spinner.
Waltzes down, waltzing Matilda, and this is travelling and out of here.
That's gone a long way. My goodness me.
Well, you could anticipate that, Jeremy. It's not going to take long. He's been sort of scratchy, but now he's middled one. And that's what the doctor ordered from a Van der Dussen perspective. He moves to 14.
Well, that's a good shot, wasn't it indeed? What a good comeback from Carl Simmons. Not allowing him to get underneath. Once you get those, he gets those levers going and it's there in the slot. That one seemed to have kicked a bit.
It's a good finish to the Simmons over and spell. So 4 overs for 34. So Linder and Simmons have bowled out. 8 overs for 68 between the two of them.
When I look across the field, I see Parnell taking off his cap and his jersey, so he'll be running in from the Calvin Grove end. It would go back to that experience. So he's got 2. So he'll have to get, and Hendricks got 1. So probably Hendricks will bowl the next over, and Parnell to end off. $171. More overs. They'll get to that 200 mark, that's for sure.
Big shout for LBW. Umpire having none of it. So Van der Dussen on 15, Hendricks on 77. Opening stand 151. Well, nothing less than 200. They won't settle for that. They won't be happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Has to be. Well, so we've got to get to 200. We've done all the hard work. They've cashed in well.
Straight to the fielder. Van der Dussen, apart from the 6 that he launched an over ago, it hasn't been the fluent Van der Dussen that we've become accustomed to. Credit to Parnell, good start from his side as well. It's very important, these next 4 deliveries, 2 dots. Something's going to give. Launches himself forward, and there will be protection, and only 1 halfway through the over. Only a single so far.
It's good bowling.
Very good bowling from Parnell. Good results this for Carl Verena and Western Province. They've pulled this back slightly after the fall of the first wicket. The only wicket to fall. Partnership of 21.
It has certainly been and he's got hold of that one. It's in the air, gone for 6. Well, it's almost like a chip. The 9 iron.
I wanted to say, Hendricks has been starved of the strike of late, with Van der Dussen finding his feet. But he's seeing it big at the moment, and there's another massive hit from Hendricks, who moves to 83, 178 for 1. Parnell, 3 good deliveries. That one went for the maximum, but in the context of what we've seen, you would appreciate and understand that it is that time of the innings. Anything needs to go now.
Well, with wickets in hand, that's surely what's going to happen.
Oh, he
And
does
he's
him
got hold
again.
of that.
Does him again. Same result, bigger, further. 6 more.
That's a good shot. Picked that up beautifully. Hendricks moves to 89. Can still get to that 100. It's really been a knock of authority.
Much better. Full and squeezes it onto the leg side. Helps himself to a single. That brings to an end Parnell's 3rd over. His analysis, 0 for 43. Hendricks, the nervous 90s. Although there's no such thing in T20 cricket, you just go full tilt. Is it too early maybe to talk about the centuries that we've seen? Bryce Parsons and Ruben Herman at the top of that list, 102, the highest individual score in this competition so far. Bryce Parsons for the Dolphins against the Titans, that came off 48 balls. Ruben Herman, 102. Northwest against Tuskers, that came off 54 balls. And you spoke earlier about Edward Moore's brilliant century against the Tuskers here on this very ground, 101. Hendricks on 90.
I'll tell you what, Moore's going to be needed tonight to get another 100. That's but that knock of Bryce Parsons was also very, very good. Youngster who has also come through the under-19 level, and I think he was captain of that side as well, if my memory serves me correctly. And he hails from Gauteng. Bjorn Hendricks just pulling out in the last minute, not getting his gather all that properly. I think he just slipped a bit. I think he's been a product of St. Stithians, if I'm not mistaken, Bryce Parsons.
Yeah, I watched that knock, and it was quality. It was almost a Bryce Parsons coming of age and
Yeah.
announcing himself.
See, a lot of thing about cricketers, you know, they get the opportunities, and the good thing is to see them progress and not to push them at the deep end sometimes, and just, you know, let them ease themselves in. Because sometimes you get onto the scene, you play provincial cricket, you score hundreds, you take lots of wickets, but it's the second season that is normally the tester, because now opposition has found you out. Now you've got to prove yourself. And this is what my concern is about this youngster, Parker. I think he's a wonderful talent. I'm just worried. Anyway, hopefully I'm wrong. But at the age of 17 and to be put in the deep end like that, I think, wow. This is in the air.
And taken. It is John James who completes the catch for Western Province. But let's acknowledge a brilliant knock by Reza Hendricks at the top of the order. He walks back for 90 or 49 deliveries, 5 fours and 6 massive sixes. Strike rate 183.7. What a knock from Reza Hendricks.
Oh, it's been a brilliant knock. It's been really classy batting. Can't call him a youngster anymore, but he ages well as well. Reza Hendricks. Delano Potgieter, I thought that Hamza, more of a batsman that needs time to play himself in. It's now, I thought that, I said to Vincent Barnes out there that I think that they will make a change to this batting lineup as they go down. With Potgieter in next and probably Jones in next or Mulder.
Yeah, in the context of where we are, 18.2 overs, again, no disrespect to Zubair Hamza, but he'll probably now just float right down, and they'll bring in the power hitters and keep going with just more than an over and a half remaining in the innings, 185 for 2. We were talking about a 200 plus score for the majority of the innings. It's 185 at the moment, 10 legal deliveries remaining, 15 runs needed for that 200 mark. Important catch from John James. Needed to take that, ran in beautifully, little dive forward, never easy. Good catch under pressure from a youngster, finding his way in this format and at this team.
That's the only way young players will learn, and they play with experience. Oh, hey, that one hit him on the helmet. We'll have to check this one out.
We'll have to go through the safety protocol. It seems that Potgieter is fine, and maybe just a change of helmet and a quick check.
I'm sure Western Province would like to see the back of him quickly too. They won't forget that 4-day final at the Wanderers. Delano Potgieter stood between victory and loss, and Western Province should really have wrapped that up in 3 days, but Delano Potgieter was outstanding. They came from behind to actually win that trophy.
And there were also so many permutations in that 4-day competition, down to the last round. And the moves game, it happened all in the last couple of days, all probably on the last day. Great advert.
Yeah, absolutely. Just would like to see more sponsors involved, more people getting into the grounds. Crowds are so important, especially with young players on the scene. I remember the good old years we spoke about coming to this ground. You had to close the gates here. People couldn't get in. I suppose there's so many other things in the world, but still, I still believe that crowds can still be better with a bit more foresight and better marketing.
I can tell you, growing up, our normal family holiday over December was in Gqeberha, and I used to sit with the scorebook that I bought with my pocket money and sit between the band and score Eastern Province against whoever they were playing.
Every ball?
I was scoring Jeremy. And Thankfully, Potgieter is okay, and he'll get off the mark with a single. But yes, that was my pocket money went towards a scorebook and some face paint to emulate. I wanted to be Alan Donald. That was my hero growing up, and John T. Rhodes as well.
Well, I worked here as a kid of 13 years old, picking up leaves after the game in the old oaks and the plains, as it were, and later on worked on the gates for many years here at Newlands. So I've grown up seen the old Newlands, the old scoreboard, the B field at the back.
Oh,
he's picked that up well. It's gone all the way.
Yeah, he identified the length quickly, got into position. It's a much needed 6 in the context of chasing and making the most of this foundation that was set up by Rickleton and Hendricks. Moves the score to 192. Van der Dussen on to 22. That's wonderful memories that you speak about, Jeremy, and it got you to where you are, and the love for the game. I mean, completing the full circle. You speak about picking up leaves and now sitting behind the microphone commentating at your beloved Newlands.
Yeah, in good days, for many, many years, I've seen some brilliant cricket being played here.
Oh! That's bigger.
Well, I thought that nearly went to Campground Road. My goodness, he picked that up. 198 now.
Bang, bang. That's how quickly an over can change. Hendricks was spot on in the majority of that over.
But I just like the way we in unison went, whoa! Yeah, that was massive.
Maybe we can go a cappella, do a bit of a men's group.
It'll have to be a choir then.
Yeah. We'll find another commentator or two. I'm sure we can get that going. But, that's a treat to see Van der Dussen cut loose. 198 for 2, 6 balls remaining.
They'll definitely get to 200. It could be 210, could be 220. All depends. Sure, this is going to be, well, I'll tell you what, this is going to be a good chase if Western Province can get anywhere close to chasing this total. We should be in for some pulsating cricket if they do get it right to come close as well. It's just 199th run with that single.
There's Parnell's responsibility to make the most of this last over from a bowling perspective, see if he can contain these two. 3.1 overs for 44. John James again, the tactic remained the same against the Tuskers. He bowled 2 overs. Again today, 2 overs for 15, going at 7.5, but they've given it to the man in his 300th T20 game. Van der Dussen, he's gone 6-6. What does he do now? Tries to launch, but good length from Parnell. And it is the 200 up for the Lions.
Well, that's what we anticipated. Long ago, they got to that 200. It's been a good knock. Especially the 2 batsmen in prior. Van der Dussen has just got into his stride now. Cut away, square on the offside. It's a good shot, that.
It's a lovely shot. Found the gap. It was full from Parnell. Well maneuvered from Potgieter. He goes on to 6, still new at the crease. There's the last over. It's the first boundary of the Parnell over. Well, he's also one shy of a half century, but in the bowling department, Wayne Parnell.
Yeah, he's been a bit expensive tonight and wicketless. That's come back for a second, which they comfortably do. 2 deliveries remaining now, 206. Very good score, the 206 for 2.
Yeah, though it won't get to the 223, that's the highest score in this competition that belongs to the Lions.
Yeah, they've been good. They've got a star-studded side, so most times, I'm sure that 223 was at the Wanderers if I'm not
Was
mistaken.
against the G-Bets Rocks.
Yeah.
Oh, that's called wide. The extra delivery, 207 for 2. 5 wides in this Western Province bowling effort. A leg bye and a bye, part of the 7 extras that reflects on the scoreboard.
Yeah, so still 2 deliveries remaining. Can it go for 2 boundaries? Can Parnell make sure that they don't get it?
Well, he'll flick him again over the top, same result. Brilliant batting and appreciation of the field from Potgieter. 2-1-1.
Western Province will have their work cut out when they go into bat.
So we get to the last legal delivery of this innings. 211 for 2. Potgieter on 12. He'll go straight. They'll have to push for 2. Van Dussen will come back.
Yeah, and as the fielder just sliding there, they do get 2, and what's it, 213, 214 required. Really, what a good total that is. 10.7 to the over, Johan. It's going to be a tall order for Western Province, and no time to muck around in the power play. They'll have to get off to a good start with minimum loss of wickets.
Yeah, what an effort from the visitors, set up by a brilliant opening stand of 151 between Ryan Rickleton and Reza Hendricks. Rickleton was the first to depart the scene. He went for 73. Hendricks for 90, and then the 2 batsmen remained out in the middle. Van Dussen not out on 29. Potgieter on 14. 213 for 2 at a rate of 10.7. It's now up to Western Province to come and do the business. Edward Moore will have to bat out of his skin. He'll have to repeat his performance that he produced at this very ground against the Tuskers, where he scored a brilliant century. Jonathan Bird, Carl Verreynne, they'll have to come in and launch. They used Wayne Parnell at 3 in that Tuskers game. He was elevated up the order. It will be interesting to see what their approach will be tonight. But 214, they'll have to regroup and decide how they're going to go about it. But I guess that power play will be key, and wickets in hand, of course. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens next. Can Western Province get over the line and score the 214 that they need? We'll find out in a short while.
Disconnect the thing and plug it in again, please. Switch it off and on again.
Is it on?
The HDMI, unplug it and plug it in again.
On. Is it on? Hello? Is it on? Bandile, is it on?
Just leave it like that. Bring the other HDMI this side. Bring the other one this side, please.
Welcome back to Newlands. So the umpires are out. Abdullah Steenkamp and Stephen Harris. Gauteng is taking the field as well. Well, what a mammoth total this is for Western Province to get. 214, they'll have to go with 10 and over. And working things out, one normally says that don't lose wickets in the power play. And as you said off air to me, Eugene, that they were going to have to take some risk, and that is, I agree with you. And if they can be unscathed 50 or 52 for one in a power play, they can feel their way in this game here tonight as well. But it's going to be a tall order.
Yeah, that is definitely going to be. But they've got the likes of Moore here and Bird. They have some runs behind them in this competition already. So hopefully they can sort of build on that little confidence to give them a little bit of impetus, especially within that power play period as well. But as everybody say, if you lose 2 or even 3 wickets in that power play, you're certainly behind the 8 ball, and you can't afford to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Hilton Ackerman always used to say that Cape Town batsmen get runs after Christmas. Well, we're well after Easter too now, so let's hope that the Cape Town players are in form. The season is towards tilting off towards the end. Mareke now, he's had a good season thus far, and has bowled very well. What is it? His best of 4 for 22. That was for Western Province against the Lions. 45 wickets.
Certainly much improved. And over the last year, season or two, he's really upped his game and put in some really sterling performances, and obviously got a call up as well. So he's certainly on the up, and somebody that we can certainly keep an eye on going forward as well. He's entrusted with a new ball as well, first up.
That says a lot, because before he was never given a new ball. So that's what confidence does, and when you're doing well. Oh, good delivery. Good delivery. Just holding with the angle, and that's where you want to be, first up to left-handers. Ball just shaping across. And left-handers normally more than any batsman, but left-handers more than normal. Very susceptible outside that off stump early on.
Yeah, just trying to find the line there a little bit, but Mareke certainly, he's not a tall man as such, but he's a little bit of a skidder, so that he just kisses the surface and maybe a little bit of zip, and as you said, we're well into April here. Maybe that's little, just kissing the surface might get the ball to come through quicker.
First run for Western Province, off the bat of Jonathan Bird. Both left-handers here we have.
I don't often see that, eh?
No.
Unless you're Australian, because they certainly have a number of left-handed batters, certainly back then.
Whoa, yeah, what do you think? Matthew Hayden, Justin Langer, Gilchrist. Who was up front there batting? Yeah, no, that was the War brothers, Steve War and Mark War, 3 and 4.
He's coming around the wicket, so let's see what his plan is here.
Whoa!
Well, his plan is to go as straight as possible, and that went over the stumps. If I'm not mistaken, Jeremy, the first 2 overs that the World Sports Bet Western Province team bowled here went for 7.
Yeah, not much. So, got to get yourself in. You got to give yourself, normal cricket, probably now for an over or 2, and then they started getting into the act.
And that's the point I was trying to just allude to there, is give yourself that chance,
Goodness, he's having it. He has had 2 almighty swings.
And already for me, this is a difference from what I've seen in the first innings from the Lions to what I'm seeing here now. Rickleton, they were comfortable, just hit that into the gap, into mid-wicket. Sometimes goes for 1, they could double up for 2. And already that's different. Western Province, they've opted to go for the big shot early doors here.
The problem is you're looking at the scoreboard and you say, well, I've got to bat at 11 and over. And suddenly that pressure gets to you. Instead of saying, right, let's get ourselves in here, let's bat sensibly, get the singles. That was airborne for a while. And, that won't go all the way. Field does hold up at this time of the year. We'll get 3. And sometimes just that little bit of patience as a batsman, because the bad ball's going to come. You're going to get more bad balls here at this level than what you'll get at test level or at a higher level. So sometimes you just got to be patient and ride the bowler.
Yeah, definitely. And I sometimes wonder what other players seem to watch when they watch other teams bat, especially Western Province here. How did Rickleton and Innings go about their business in that first 2 or 3 overs? Is that something that they can do, and how successful were they in the latter end of that innings?
And the thing that you've got to do when you're a batsman and you're out there in the field and you see how the opposition bats, how they get the measure of the wicket, you've got to visualize to yourself as a batsman, I've got to go and do the same job, especially if I'm opening the innings. And how did those 2 go about their job? And visualize yourself into that situation, because you're in a good position fielding first and seeing what the opposition does.
100%. I can't agree with you more. And I encourage even school kids, whenever they play, try and watch what's going on out there, especially if your team is batting, and look at, especially bowlers, look at how they're bowling, what has been successful for them with what they've done, and even batting wise as well. And then try and take that into your innings, whether you're batting or bowling.
Luther Supamla now from the Calvin Grove end.
I certainly like the look of this guy. He's certainly got a lovely action.
Yeah, he has. I just think the one problem in just having a chat also to Vincent Barnes is maybe the pace factor. I mean, he's such a lovely kid. I had him on the tour to India as well with the A team, and that's beautifully driven.
You reckon he's too nice to be a fast bowler?
I think so. I think I'd like to see a bit more meanness, and maybe if he could have picked up, I don't know how old he is now. He was quite young then, 2019, on that tour to India.
I tell you who wasn't nice when he was bowling. Vincent Barnes, he wasn't nice.
No, he's a meanie. Well, but that you need if you want to survive. I mean, in this game, you've got to be mean as a fast bowler. I love mean fast bowlers. Don't give an inch.
That's nice. Running and hitting the deck, that's what you want. And you want that more consistently from him.
Well, I know fellows that were telling me in PE and some of those places, they dreaded facing Vincent Barnes because the surface was always going to be of such an effect. And I've spoken to like provincial cricketers that played against him that time, and they said, we don't like facing that fella.
I'm sure it wasn't the word fella they used.
No, they didn't. Well, there was some French with it, you know, because you always have French when someone hits you with a cricket ball.
Let's turn our attention here to Pamela.
And now?
Yeah, we've had some mean bowlers in South Africa as well. I mean, Schultz was one of them. Great, used to bowl a heavy ball, come at you. Alan Donald, when he was fired up, you know, you could see in White Lightning that look in his eyes of anger, of determination.
Schultz was crazy. Schultz got given a brand new spanking Kookaburra turf by Duncan Fletcher in the nets to the boys, and he ran in hard. And the ball hit those back balls quite hard. Saw Herschel and the likes, they didn't like that.
Yeah. That's in the air. That'll be the first wicket down. Western Province. Sapabla strikes. Moore goes. Or is it Bird? Bird, I beg your pardon. Jonathan Bird, first wicket to fall cheaply. Western Province 5 for 1 in the second over.
Just looked like he got through the shot way too early, so suggests it could have been a change of pace early, even early doors there from Sapamla, showing his skills as well. Ball before really hit the surface and sort of rushed John Bird there, and that time taking the pace off. And it's one left-hander being replaced by another as Wayne Parnell now joins the party.
But it's no use you replacing them and up the order with batsmen. They got to get runs. They got to play properly. They got to bat properly. You got to. I just feel sometimes with these modern day cricketers. Yeah, I know it's IPL, but look, there's a lot of international cricket. But yeah, you still got to play normal cricket because it still helps you to get to where you got to be eventually once you do the hard yards. And I just feel at times some of our cricketers are far too soft to do the hard yards. They want to look flashy. They want to score you a quick 30. They look like $1 million. And then if you look at the scoreboard, wickets are down.
And they're already one down and they can ill afford to lose another. But then there's power play, Jeremy. He's Wayne Parnell's 300th match, and can he try and do something here with bat in hand? He had a difficult day with ball.
Sorry, man. Boss, we can't see. I can't commentate, we can't see. Sorry.
Some furniture being arranged in front of us here, Jeremy.
Yeah, all the positions of cameramen, they want to get the perfect position. Well bowled. Oopsie. Line and length good.
Jeremy, we're going to be talking again about first 2 overs. Hendricks and Rickleton align themselves as to assess how ball's reacting to the surface, what the bowler's doing. Is it swinging? Is the ball sitting in the pitch? They went for 7 of 2 overs, didn't lose a wicket, and then after that, yes, they raced to 41. After the first 5 overs, didn't lose a wicket. So even in the next 3 overs, they scored some runs there. They scored excellent runs, so 34 runs in that next 3 overs, and it can be done. But as you said, it's just calling out for somebody just to, just a little bit of game awareness, a little bit.
Absolutely. And that I feel sometimes is lacking, that mental capacity, game awareness, and the problem that's driven down the ground. It's gone for 4.
And yeah, it's a much needed boundary that for Western Province. And I'm going to come here and ask you a question, because you've watched a lot of cricket, both domestically and internationally as well. And is there an emphasis too much being set on that power play at times, where teams just feel they have to go hard and capitalize on that first 6 overs where there's only 2 fielders out? Or is that going to put them under the pump a little bit when they lose wickets?
Yeah, sometimes they do. Teams like to have the ascendancy. They like to be in charge, and they feel that if they keep going in their power play, some teams, it's go hard. Another wicket. Western Province in all sorts of trouble. Well, this is just absolutely schoolboy cricket. I beg your pardon, but I mean, really, this is just no way. Absolutely no way.
That's the point I'm making here. I just feel sometimes teams are so about that power play and they just need to go hard. And it's just shots being played. We never saw anything like this when the Lions were batting. They were playing proper cricket shots. When it was ball in the area for them to reach the boundary and even hit a maximum, they got that by playing proper cricket shots, not trying to force the pace at times.
Well, at times Western Province, as good as they can play a good cricket game, they can be very wishy-washy at times. And they're just not consistent in their performance. That's the problem. I mean, I spoke to the coach earlier on as well, and he also indicated to me, well, we play brilliant cricket at times, and at times we just look lackluster. And that is something that they really have to look at if they want to have any say in this tournament. And the big thing is, when you're playing at home, you've got to win your home games. It's so important to win the home games, because when you're traveling and you're losing at home, you find it very difficult to win away from home.
Yeah, definitely under the pump, certainly. And this has been it started out being a big clash between these two teams, second and third in the log, both on 21 points. And the way this game is going, the Lions look a class apart at the minute.
Absolutely, they have been classy. They've got a slip-in position as well. That's brave captaincy, or good captaincy, I would say at times. That's it. You have the ascendancy, get a slip-in early, try and get a wicket early, get the ball to move, get the outside edge. Verena in now. Oh, what a delivery. What a smart delivery. That's why the slip's in position.
That's where you got to bowl to Kyle Verena first up there. It's not one that really moves his feet. He sort of thrives on balls on width. Sort of cuts the ball quite well. That line fairly tight there by Mareki. He certainly looked the buzz. Yeah, he certainly looks up for this clash playing against his former team.
But just look how quickly they were into the business end of this. Verena came in, slipping. There we go. First delivery. Beautiful.
On the money.
Hold again.
Just not giving them any work to work with. They're fairly tight on their lines. And one should give credit to their coaching staff and the plans that they have set in place here, because, as I said, they just look a different unit out there with ball in hand. You saw how different they were with bat in hand from what we've seen in the first part compared to the first part of this innings.
Well, what a star-studded coaching team as well. You got Alan Donald, you got Hashim Mamla, and you got Russell Domingo, who's been coach of South Africa for a long time. I mean, that just says it all.
Years of experience?
Oh my goodness. And they were world class, both of them. Both Donald and Amla.
That's Eddie Moore forcing that through mid-wicket. Apologies, that's Wayne Parnell forcing that through mid-wicket. Sorry, he's got to go some here. Playing his 300th T20 game.
Oh, he's got to single-handedly try and win it now. And this is an important partnership. I tell you, if they lose a wicket now, I fear Western Province could be bowled out. Because you need some sort of partnership, and these are the senior players here that needs to do it.
That's the smartness of Mareki now. He's built up that extra bit of experience, that extra little bit of know-how, bringing his length a little bit back. Dropping a little bit short there, a little bit skitty. Got through Parnell a little bit quicker there.
He certainly has improved, Mareki. The one thing that I found earlier when by the Power Rocks at the time when we played in the Mzansi League, he also played there. The questions he used to ask in the team room, and wanting to learn, wanting to know, and I thought that was always fantastic. One sits there sometimes as a manager, you sit in the corner and you see body language of players, you see how they react, you see how they, and you just have a feeling that certain players can take it somewhere.
Yeah, and that's just someone that just want to soak up as much information as possible. Here's that arms, he just like to free up his hands. You don't want to give him too much width, because he loves to free up his hands outside the off stump.
Oh, that hit, they would have been all sorts of trouble. See, this is what happens when the pressure's up. You take risky singles. And I tell you what, if that had hit, he'd have been gone for all money.
He would have been gone for sure. Had to put in the dive as well. And that's just the intensity brought in this field here as well. Shall we call him the Yellow Brigade? The DP World Lions team showing the intensity in this field. A lot of chat out there. And everything for the Western Province here to do. They can't afford to lose 3 in this power play.
Now the Lions are definitely on top. There's without a shadow of doubt. Oh, well bowled.
What a ball that is.
Well, that's just a lazy bat outside off stump. There was no feet movement. He just hung outside and could so easily have got the outside edge.
That he could, yeah. As we say, some cricketers love saying the feet were left in the toilet, unfortunately.
And sometimes a good leave is also a good shot because you're watching the ball. This, I just feel, he was just having a switch outside off stump, leaning a lazy bat outside there and could easily have been caught outside edge. That's a better shot.
Powerfully hit down the ground. Was a ball fuller in length. So Bumler opting to go a little bit closer, a little bit fuller too. Parnell, he was up to the challenge there and hit that, smashed that down past the bowler himself, and that has gone for 4. Much needed though.
Well, they're going to need plenty of that. And they're only batting at what? The 5.2. And they need to bat at almost at 12 runs and over. And it's a tall ask. I just don't know where from, if these two don't have a partnership of great consequence for Western Province, I'm not sure where the guys like Katimi, Linda, James, and Yaku Simmons and Hendricks have got the measure in them to play. Yeah, they can play you cameo innings, but they're not gonna play you an innings where you can say they're gonna get you 50 of 20 balls like a Van der Dissen can do. And that's why I said prior to this game, this Western Province batting looks thin to me.
Especially if you have the likes of Wayne Parnell himself coming in at 4.
Wow. Came in at 3 though.
With no disrespect to him.
Batting's very thin. With all due, I mean, it just is thin. No doubt about that. You can't sometimes in T20 depend on your top 3 or 4 batsmen. You've got to have guys that can bat down. If you look at teams, the IPL, they're the fellows that walk in at number 6 and they can score hundreds.
Well, we don't have to look very far. Look at this team in front of us here,
Absolutely.
The Lions. The guys that didn't even come out.
Yeah. They can hit the proverbial mile. And those who got the opportunity to bat were so selfish, they said, we prize our wicket. You're not getting us out. And that, to me, out. Good night, goodbye, God bless. Another one bites the dust. Western Province in all sorts of trouble, actually in disarray.
Yeah, it's a 3rd wicket gone now, and again it was a fuller length delivery. Wayne Parnell just wanted to hit that through the covers. Fortunately, he picked up the fielder, didn't have to move an inch. Only thing he had to do was just go down on bended knee slightly, but it's a well taken catch there as well. 3 wickets gone, and we spoke about losing 3 wickets in the power play, and not many teams are successful after losing 3 in the power play.
I still have to see that statistics, that a team that loses 3 wickets in a power play comes back and wins. Well, the Lions are all over Western Province here. Valentine Katimi in now. He's got an average of 9, batting at number 5.
It sort of seems, it's got that feel of helpful leather at times. It's just like, man, let's just try and throw a bat at it. There's the type of shots we saw Hendricks. And we're going to keep going back to that, unfortunately, because that's what we've seen going in the first innings. And we're comparing that first innings to what we are seeing now. And it definitely has that helpful leather feeling where Western Province is just hoping that they're going to swing hard at it and it might come off. Whereas Hendricks and Rickleton, they were very particular about how they went about, how they batted. Ran well between the wickets. We haven't seen that here. They rotated the strike. We haven't seen that here. So there's a lot of aspects of the game that just doesn't shape up here.
Yeah, no, I agree with you entirely. That one just Oh, they'll have to hurry here. Tell you about Katimi now. Valentine Katimi, he used to face. He played at Boerland last season. Young player, come from the 19 ranks, but sure, at number 5 with an average of 9, and he's played quite a number of games, yet no 50 under his belt. Best score of 29. That's what he has. So he's got his work cut out here tonight as well.
Let's try to pull that through mid-wicket. Are they going to come back for 2? They're going to try. That's Van der Dussen sweeping up there.
Good running. That's the intensity that was needed earlier on by the 2 opening batsmen. Work the ball in gaps, take the singles run, wait for the bad ball, and then dispatch it for 4.
For those that know
But
Jeremy,
everybody tried to be Rock Hudson.
for those that know Jeremy Fredericks, he's passionate about this game and he's calling every game the same. And
But just look at I mean, surely you sit out in your change room as well and you watch the opposition. And as I said, you're feeling and you saw how they played and how they play. I mean, these two, both Reza and Rickleton, were so sensible in going about their business.
that's the question I keep asking. What are you watching, even in the field? Yes, you won the toss. You elected to bowl first. Right, let's see how they're going to go about it. Is it successful? Is it not? You see them put in a partnership of over 150, playing cricket shots, running well between the basics of the game. And yet we decide, Western Province decide we're going to try and sort of hit our way out of trouble.
Yeah, try to bully. You can't bully the opposition, especially when you're facing good bowling and guys are bowling good line and length. And sometimes just that little bit of respect for the game, respect for the opposition. And then you slowly start getting the Lions. They have been fantastic this season, no doubt about it. Warriors have been brilliant. They had 35 points. They've played some scintillating cricket as well. Under Robin Peterson, he's done a good job there over the years. Young players. Oh. And what is so comforting to see is that players like Bretsky, one saw them at school level and under 19 level, and that he's coming into his own, and that's what you want to see players progress, that they get better.
Well, Jeremy, I hope when I join you again for my next comedy stint in this match, we might get a smile out of you.
It's not a matter of being, you just want to see guys playing sensible
100%.
cricket.
I can't agree with you more, Jeremy. It's just what we've seen. It's chalk and cheese from what has gone before.
Now, Mulder just falling away a little bit there. He has got that tendency to fall away. And then the arm just, when the head falls away, the arm just directs the ball down leg side.
Still, the noise is up, and why not? They got a team, Western Province, 3 down. Inside the Powerplay, 26 for 3, busy with the 5th over. You said they're on top. I think they're all over Western Province.
Absolutely, there's no doubt about that. Shot, that's the good shot, that. Beautifully driven.
Haven't seen many full deliveries, and that one was certainly full and well dealt with, as it should have been. Well put away there by Carl Verena, but they're going to need plenty more of that if they were to get close to that total.
Looking also at Bjorn Mulder, he's a good young cricketer and very talented. But it's just to me that I just get the sense that he just hasn't lifted to the next level where we all expected him to be now in his career. Maybe I'm just, but having had, as Eugene departs out of the commentary box, Johan will join me, but just having seen him over the years, I was honoured also to manage him at the A team, and just looking at him, we all thought that this was the next all-rounder South Africa, and it's almost as if Mulder's just not mastered both the art of an all-rounder yet. Yes, he's good. But just sometimes you find that the performances were just a bit, in my opinion, bits and pieces on both levels, bowling and batting. And I just feel that, to get to that following level, you've got to just have a bit of more X factor. Well, hopefully he gets there. Still young. But what a sensation he was at school level. So Pamela.
Oh, Luther Pamela has just shown his class as well, and going on to 7 wickets in the competition, joining Cody Youssef and Kwena Mapaka. Bjorn Fortuin, the leading wicket taker in this Lions lineup in this competition, with 10 to his name, best analysis of 2 for 14, and an economy of 5.73. But the stranglehold is there, and the Lions have got their teeth around Western Province.
Well, it's teeth and claws. And they've got there, and they dug in their heels, so they're not going to let loose of that grip. You know, when a lion gets hold of you, he'll maul you to death. There'll be nothing left. And this is exactly what they're doing to Western Province here at the moment.
Now, the damage has been done in the power play, 4 balls remaining, and then the fielding restrictions will relax. And it'll be interesting to see what the approach will be from the Lions after the power play. Oh,
that's just a bad cricket shot.
And you were talking about Valentine Kitime and the fact that he's averaging under 10. It's a pretty senior role to come and fulfill and bat at 5 and chasing a 200-plus score. Probably saying that, well, nothing to lose really. Power play is on, might as well chance my arm. I'm not going to win the game by blocking around and taking singles, but scoreboard, if you're looking up and you one of the home fans, it's pretty nasty at the moment. Oh,
They got hold of that. It's gone all the way.
That's a quality stroke. Surprisingly, Sapara pitched it short and having all his success with the fuller deliveries, and he gave a freebie. Probably anticipated Kitime might come and meet him down the wicket, but offered the short ball, and you still have to put it away. So that's a tick next to Kitime's name, and won that battle. But the war is still on.
Now they're really in the heat of battle here. Now fine legs brought in. Point has been pushed out to the boundary. On the offside, you've got a square leg on the boundary. He's been bowled. Can you Adam and Eve this? Now what sort of a shot was that? Western Province reeling. 38 for 4.
Well, 38 for 4, Western Province in disarray. 1 ball remaining in the power play. It's a power play that they won't want to see any highlights of because there's been almost nothing. Valentine Kitime departs the scene and Sipamla is on to 3.
Well, Johan, I tell you what, they could still lose with a bonus point. I tell you what, Lions pick up 5 points here and walk away from here. They'll be the happier team of the two. And by the looks of things, it doesn't looks very ominous for Western Province.
It's going to be difficult to take the ball out of Sipamla's hands. Best bowling analysis in the competition belongs to Keith Dudgeon. Tuskers Lions, 3 overs, 1 maiden, 4 for 5, and 6 bowlers have taken 4 wickets in an innings in this competition this season, and Sipamla needs 1 more to join that.
Did you see the bowling performance of Dudgeon the other night? My goodness me, that was top draw, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
He could, if he continues in that vein, he could be very, very fortunate to get his name in the hat for the SA 2020 with that bowling performance at the Wanderers the other day. They were all over the Lions like a rash. The Tuskers, it was a wonderful performance and a great bowling performance from Keith Dodgen.
Powerplay, something of the past, 38 for 4. What a quality performance by the Lions all round. Moreki 2 overs, 1 for 14. Sipamla 3 overs, 3 for 14. And the new ball pairing has really taken the life out of this Western Province batting effort. And I spoke about Bjorn Fortuin, right on cue.
And he's such a good bowler, this fella. He normally open the bowling, and he normally takes wickets up front. First 1 or 2 overs, he's right in the money, on the money, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, but I like what you've said there, Jeremy. He's always at you. And if you look at his economy rate, it's 5.73. I mean, for a spinner that, like you said, often bowls in that power play, it's really a testament to the quality player that he is.
Also one of those players that have improved as time has gone on. So 38 for 4, Western Province. The Lions were 58 without loss. It just shows you where the ascendancy is and in what position they are in this game. They know they've got the grip firmly on this game now.
Use of the feet from Carl Breiner. I love watching Bjorn Fortuin bowl. He's such a clever bowler, and he's got the variety.
Comes from Paul, Johan.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so if those of you who don't know, Jeremy references Paul. That's where I live as well. George Linder and Carl Breiner together.
Just pushing it through a little bit quicker. Bjorn Fortuin. Not giving it that air because he knows that Linder would like to elevate this and wait for the one that he's going to toss up, and he'll be down the ground in a whisk.
And you know, a spinner to a spinner, they don't like to give their wicket to one another.
Absolutely.
Personal battles within battles. Let's work through the gap. Now they have to work very hard for the 2, which they'll get quite comfortably.
Oh, well, bold. He nearly just didn't get there almost. But, he adjusted well in the end, Carverena. He was looking to hit it straight down the ground, but the delivery was of that nature that he had to just push it for 1. Clever bowling from Bjorn Fortuin.
I think variety is really one of his strengths in his toolbox. He's got it all. This one is straight back, and so far only 5 runs off the over. At required rate more than 2 a ball, and you have to maintain that throughout the next 13 overs. It's already a daunting prospect. Linder will help himself to another single, but it's Fortuin who will take the round. He's overcosting only 6, 44 for 4. That after 7 overs. Western Province, they have a couple of mountains to climb. 170 to win from 78 deliveries.
Yeah, no, they've got a massive mountain to climb. And if they should win this game, I'll buy you a case of beer. But I think the case of beer is safe.
No, I think so. All the odds on the fielding team. With the fielding team. Introduction of Jones.
And he didn't even come out and bat tonight. You know how dangerous he can be with a bat in hand as well.
Yeah, you were talking about the expertise within the different camps, and you were referencing the likes of Alan Donald. We spoke about him earlier, taking the bowlers through their paces. I was watching them warm up in the interval. So many servants of the game investing back into franchise cricket.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see. And they're so passionate about the game. I mean, Alan Donald is one of those people. And then to have Hashim Amla as your batting coach, and you just sit there. I mean, the record speaks for itself. What was his test average over 50? You just look at him and you think, wow. I'm sure these youngsters might sit there with their mouths open, drooling, when he starts speaking to you, or when Alan Donald, who has 72 test matches in his belt, under his belt, 330 test wickets, and you're listening to that experience of a batsman and a bowler talking to you, my goodness.
And I was, again, just before start of play, Amla was on the ground. He was chucking balls at the batters, hitting into the nets, just sharing his expertise. What a man to have in your batting camp. I mean, what has he not done?
Absolutely. Only South African test player to score 300 in test match cricket at the Oval, 333 I think it was. What a knock that was. He's played some many wonderful knocks over the years. He's quite a funny character too, eh? He looks serious. If you get to know him, and his father, Dr. Amla, they're from Stanger, the Amlas. Ahmed is now coaching the Tuskers. Hashim has got that wily look and that twinkle of naughtiness like his dad in terms of telling you a joke. I first met his dad at Edgbaston. Dr. Amla is sadly not with us anymore, but what a wise man and a wonderful person to chat to.
Well, that's Carl Vereina's game. He'll keep that scoreboard ticking, but it needs a lot more than ticking. It needs a bit of an injection of sorts, and a couple of those. At this stage, they're not getting anything loose. It's a very disciplined, polished performance all around by the Lions, and it's one thing to put the 213 on the board, but you've got to back that up with your bowling lineup, and everyone has contributed.
Absolutely, it's been tough going for Western Province. Well, a lot of that has been of their own undoing. So, the bowling has been good. The bowling has been solid for the Lions. But, the way these two openers at the beginning and then Parnell, Katime losing their wickets was just schoolboy stuff.
Yeah, they opened the back door and the front door in the same power play, and the Lions have marched in and they've set up camp and they've taken over house. 46 for 4 after 8. Fortuin will go and start his second over. 1 over for 6. Vereina says, well, it might as well try some boundary hitting, because that's what's required. And singles, and like you said, Jeremy, there's a bonus point that is up for grabs, and the Lions have their sights set on that as well. Vereina on 14, Linda on 3.
Good use of the feet, getting to the pitch of it, but not getting it past the bowler. That's the measure. Their fielding has also been top draw. The Lions, they've taken every opportunity that came their way.
Throws it up wide. It's a good play by Fortuin. Just enticed the shot, and it was there.
Yeah, wily character beyond. Oh, where's this gone? Oh, it's just gone over the ropes. 50 up for Western Province.
It had some serious hang time, Jeremy, and the fielder was interested for the majority of it, but just enough legs with the willow. And like you said, 53 from 55 balls. Got the damage really done in that wickets column, and that's the reason for the run rate. The run's been less than the balls to achieve that runs.
That will be widened. Not to Lustian Camp, certainly.
Fired it in down the pads, anticipating another shot, which didn't come.
Tucked away on the leg side, but only single. Run rate certainly is up to 14 now. Western Province batting at 6. And it's to be understood they've lost 4 wickets along the way as well. And in all sorts of trouble.
Flat bats this down to long off, but only for a single. That'll bring to a close for Tain's second over. 2 overs for 16, 56 for 4 after 9.
1 over to the halfway stage. Lots of work to do for Western Province.
Yeah, apart from Mulder, who just lost his way somewhat in his only over to date. Been very disciplined bowling performance so far by the Lions. I guess you can get carried away and some of the games in the bag, but you still have to keep your disciplines, work towards the bigger picture, which is that bonus point. Fast approaching the end of cricket season.
Yeah, that's in South Africa though. Cricket will continue in the roll. That's airborne, and Raina very lucky there. Western Province woes continues.
Now if we talk about the domestic scene, the semi-finals set up for 24 and 25 April, the final on the 28th. Next up for the Lions is a meeting with the Dolphins on Friday.
That should be a good game at the Wanderers. Where's that one gone? It's high, taken, 5th wicket down, and Western Province now falling apart. 57 for 5.
Now George Linder on his way for 10 from 14 deliveries. It was short. Linder was not going to give away the opportunity to test himself, see if he could clear the rope, but the plan worked beautifully. Man was positioned perfectly, and it's another result that the Lions wanted. 57 for 5. Who would have believed it, just judging on that first half of the match. 213 for 2 plays 57 for 5. It's 2 different worlds that we've watched so far.
Absolutely 2 different worlds. I mean, the one team has just been in charge from the get-go. Other team has just struggled.
Carl Simmons walks to the crease, having played 35 matches, 204 runs, highest score of 46 not out. That was achieved in Kimberley. You probably wouldn't have believed that he would be at the crease inside 10 overs. Run rate already knocking on the 15 to the over door.
Tough order from here. Nah, miracles do happen, but it's not going to happen here.
Well, Jones on the money. He's in the wickets column. 1 for 3. Well, bumper to say welcome, Carl Simmons. So let me take you to the Western Province camp. You're in dire straits. The game is probably done. 57 for 5. What's the objective now?
Well, you still got to be going for it, I reckon. It's no use you prodding your way. You still got to go and see how much runs you can get. I mean, you know, you are in trouble. Especially T20 cricket. It's not like a 4-day game or where you can play for a draw and try and grind it out. Yeah, you still got to go boots to the wall, I believe, irrespective of what the situation is.
I'm with you. I'm with you in that respect. Might as well build towards a pretty nice local derby, Western Province GBets Rocks coming up.
Yeah, that's on Sunday.
Yep.
Here at Newlands. GBets Rocks has certainly had a poor season. And that's in the air, and that's gonna be dropped. Well, the position he got himself into, the fielder, was always looking ominous. That it wasn't in control.
Well, Jeremy, it's
Comedy of
it's
errors.
a bit of a comedy out there. Oh, that was almost one of the catches of the season, and then turned into the most silliest run out of the season as well. Oh, seeing it all happen and unfold in front of us, Bjorn Fortuin almost pulled off
A miraculous catch, yeah.
absolutely. If he held on to that, we've seen that on many highlights reels for years to come.
He's opening the blade down to third man. End of the 10th over. In Western Province, 60 for 5. Time for me to depart, and Eugene will join Johan.
Yeah, 60 for 5, Western Province in all sorts of trouble. The halfway stage has been reached, and that required run rate reads 15.4. The rate achieved has only been 6, but that's largely due to the fact that Province have lost their way, especially in that power play, lost 3 early wickets, and it's going to be pretty difficult to recover from that perspective. 20 for 3, 38 for 4, 57 for 5, and now it's 60 for 5. Simmons on 3, Verena on 16.
Yeah, and the difference there, Johan, is if you look at the comparative score, it's a difference of 43 runs and as well 5 wickets. That's a story in its own. They really just haven't been at the races here, the Western Province team.
Our first look at Nkaba Peter.
Saw this kid bowl in the warm-up. Certainly gives it a rip. But what a time to come on and bowl. You've got a team 60 for 5.
Big shout, big shout.
You just got to watch the way he appeals there. He just ran away in the old Vernon Philander style there. Just disregard the umpire. He just gives it the arm up.
I can give you other names. Imran Tahir comes to mind.
That's another.
Shamsi.
Oh, Shamsi does turn around. Let's
Only
get
at
to
the end. Gives it good flight. Like you said, great opportunity, and another young man to see on the domestic scene, and he's bowling at a team in deep trouble.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's a lovely time to come on and bowl when you know you've got a team under the cosh here.
Oh, he's got him! He's got him! He's got him!
And that's another one. That's the 6th one gone. And really, they were not at the races whatsoever in the second innings. One begs the question here, Johan, if they actually had a look and see how the Lions went about their business here. They've come about, now the run rate has gone to over 16. So sort of the situation has been dictated by what's gone before. Sean James looks like he's going to join the fray here now. But the Lions have been all over WSB Western Province team here at Newlands.
Now it's another man with a short stay at the crease, and that's batting guard. If you look at it, Jonathan Bird 2, Edward Moore 7, Wayne Parnell 8, Carl Simmons 3, all failing to get to double figures. George Linder 10, Valentine Katime hit a shot out of the ground. He made 10, but then tried a shot out of character. He was on his way. Carl Verena is looking at his team, and they're falling apart in front of him.
Yeah, nobody really putting anything together. If you look at that scorecard there, of significant value. And as I said, it has been chalk and cheese from what we've seen earlier, Johan. Team in yellow. DP World Lions team, they were magnificent with bat in hand. And here, the difference as well, their seamers have really bowled well and certainly hitting the surface here.
How encouraging, bowling with the slip. Oh, that's not the length to get the slip interested.
Length or the line.
Or the line.
Ball doesn't turn from out there. Not on the pitch that we have.
I wanted to say, not on the half-day track that we're using.
No, not at all.
Oh, much better, much better. I had him interested there and wants to put all sorts of pressure. Well, he's on course to deliver a wicket maiden. John James, he'll feel the heat. They'll remind him all about it behind the stumps. 2 voices. Oh, and it is exactly that. What an over by Peter.
What an over indeed. One of the rare feats you'll ever see in T20 cricket. A wicket maiden. And that goes the way of Peter. Just adds to the turmoil for Western Province here, having to face a maiden over in the rate 17 and over.
So cricket is a numbers game, and I'm curious to find out, especially you coming through the bowling department. Was number something that you were well aware of? Did you keep your records and your stats locked away?
I probably have been one that will be a records person or just looking at stats, etc. Specifically in games as well that you do play, and especially the grounds that you go to. And certainly these guys are the same. You know, there's not a youngster now that comes through the ranks that's not a stats person. They all know that. Even right down to the percentages, I wasn't that bad. I'm not good with maths at that level, but it's beyond Fortuin.
He switched ends now. And he's the leading wicket taker. That's good running by Carl Verreynne.
It's good running, but it has been few and far between. Western Province had opted to look for the big shots more than just knocking it around at times and maybe just keeping the scoreboard progressing with 1s and 2s and running hard, which the Lions have done pretty well in their innings.
Just floating it in towards the pads again. They'll think about 2 this time. Good fielding to prevent the second. We haven't seen enough boundaries. Pressure hasn't been put back onto the Lions, and they've been able to dictate proceedings pretty much from. We spoke about that first 2 overs in the batting display, but that's been the quietest the Lions have been in this encounter. They've made all the noise since over 3.
They certainly have, and they've been cock-a-hoop from. Even during that early stages of the batting innings, they were really up for the fight here, and then just knocked the ball around this park. He's going to scamper through for 1, and I think the difference as well, not just their batting, if you look at the intensity in the fielding here, and then the way the seamers bowled from the DPW Lions team, they really hit the surface quite hard. Sapamla, Moreki, Mulder, Jones, even Jones coming in, he's got 1 for 6 off his 2. Going to try and get 1 again, will just be 1. And that's the difference from the way Western Province bowlers sort of sometimes just try to kiss the surface and looking for something, just floating it up there at times. But the men from the high file, they've come here and really hit the surface hard and got some good reward for that.
Oh, that's another one. That is Fortuin's first. It is the Lions just continuing to march on. That takes him to 11 for the competition. Off stump removed. 65 for 7. 12 overs gone. They're racing through the overs. Fortuin 3 overs, 1 for 21.
Yeah, they're certainly doing that. And you can't keep the leading wicket taking this competition quiet. I was just looking at that when he came up with that little stat there and looked at how many wickets has he got something in that column, and that was 0. But not for long as he struck there. Bowling John James. Outrooted stump there as well. Not often you see that. So West Province. There we say, start the car.
Yeah, I think the car has well and truly started. The bus is outside and waiting for the final rights in this encounter. But I spoke about it earlier, just the Bjorn Fontaine's variety and how he just has everything he needs to be successful. He can flight it quicker through the air, flat, outthinks, he outsmarts batsmen, and that's just testament and credit to the career that he's built for himself.
Yeah, it's going to be Peter to continue here. Excuse me, to Carl Verreynne.
Well, no surprise, he's earned the right to get the second over. Wicket maiden, spinning at both ends. And they've certainly, the web has spun around Western Province in this encounter. 65 for 7. First run that he's conceded.
Yeah, and why not? As you rightly said, he's bowled quite nicely that first over. Good control by the youngster. Now he's going to bowl up to the new man, Yaku.
Only Hendricks and Nabe to come. Still playing. I like the fact that he's being supported with the slip. Aggressive field, it doesn't matter what the situation is. He's getting the support, and Yaku will get off the mark. They'll think about 2. Verreynne turns quickly. It's going to the Yaku in, but he makes his ground as well.
Yeah, Carl Verreynne, he's a quick man between the sticks. As a keeper, he's always quick and turns quite well, so you're always going to get that from him. But are we going to get 19 runs and over from Western Province? One begs to think not. Just 3 wickets in the hutch.
This will just be great for Peter to learn from the experience, go through his variations. 1 for 4. His analysis halfway through his second over.
I'm going to throw something at you, Johan. Just another observation of what we saw even early on during the warm-ups as well. Just want to get your views on it as well.
Oh, that's short, straight to the fielder. Can you believe it? He's dished up his first real half-tracker. And when it's not your day, it's not your day. And it is the last man standing, if you wish to classify Carl Verreynne in that manner. He was there on 21 of 20 balls. And now the skipper goes 69 for 8. Peter with his second scalp. And it is the prize scalp of Carl Verreynne.
Short delivery. Those are wicket-taking deliveries if you're a leg spin bowler. Haven't you seen so many of them? Drag it down and then your eyes lit up as a batter. That did there for Carl Verreynne. But I was just going to ask you, I was looking at the warm-ups here, and Western Province came into the field. They won the toss and elected to field. And what I saw in the warm-ups between the two also says a lot. The Lions just doing what they had to do. They took their catches, they did their warm-ups, they did the stretching, whereas Western Province did a very much more intense type of warm-up. Now, one might say that, yeah, that maybe took out some of the intensity when they brought into the field. Were they a little bit tired? Was it quite warm? It was a warm day in Cape Town today. Those are aspects as well that people also have to look at.
Well, I guess as a professional cricketer, you know you have to pitch up, and you have to pitch up from ball 1. And I think you can probably take it back to the fielding effort. And there was a mis-stumping, there was a catch that went down, a pretty easy one. And it just almost summarised the effort. And I mean, Rickleton was dropped with his score on 52. It was the first wicket to fall, but not before he had done some serious damage. Went for 73. Reza Hendricks with a classy 90 from 40-odd deliveries. But to your point, I guess the training routines will be there, and they will know what works in their systems. And they were just outplayed. They've just been outplayed in all departments.
I get that outplayed. I'm just talking about the intensity going into the field. Was that intensity still kept up? Because the warm-up was certainly something that had intensity, had a lot of fire, a lot of grit about it that we didn't see. That swept there behind square on the leg side. We didn't see that sort of grit, that sort of intensity in the field as well. Maybe that was something that they were just lacking in that first innings when they were fielding, and that's another good over there. Peter getting his second wicket.
Lovely numbers, 2 overs, 2 for 5.
All 5 runs coming in his second over. What's he doing?
Very tough on the man. It's Bjorn Hendricks with a batting opportunity with Nyaku, with Nabe to come. 70 for 8, 13 overs gone. Required run rate at 20.6. Bjorn Fortuin will bowl through. He'll complete his 4-over spell.
How's your vocal cords? You're right. You're a good man singing here, because you can certainly start loosening them up. Because this one feels is gone and dusted.
The choir has already, they've already had their first album released.
And not coming back for the second. I think that's a good call.
And bonus points, we speak about that, and coming into this match, we've touched on how, just on paper, the mouth-watering prospect of today's clash between these two teams, both on 21 points, both having played 8 matches. The Dolphins, well, they keeping a close eye on this. They're on 19 points of 8, 2 points behind, and Province will certainly go down tonight. And that means that the Lions-Dolphins game gets a bit of an extra flavour in the pot.
Well, it should always get an extra flavour in the pot between those two teams. Nobody likes to lose any matches, and that should be the mindset anyway, going in here, trying to get a place in the playoffs.
That's coming your way on Friday. And then the local derby, the Cape Derby, Western Province and G-Bets Rock, so that's on Sunday. Reverse sweep. Oh, and he pulled it off beautifully. Oh, you could just, the amusement is there amongst the Lions players as well, probably having a bit of a chat to Bjorn Hendricks, saying, where did you find that?
Obviously a former teammates here. Bjorn Hendricks played his straight up north there as well. At the Wanderers, pulling off a little bit of a reverse sweep. Went quite fine. Beat Moreki's 4 runs.
Oh, now marches down the track and works this one to the square leg boundary for Sigel. I was watching Ryan Rickleton, and he was having a good chuckle and having a bit of a word. Just probably gave him a score out of 10.
When does Ryan Rickleton not have a smile on his face and have a word? All keepers are the same. All of them are all the same.
That's chapter 1 in keeping school. It's got to be verbal.
First line. Forget about chapter 1. It's the first line.
They all like it. And always great characters as well.
Yeah, they're sort of the cog that keeps everything together. Wicket keepers, and sort of get the momentum going as well when you're in the field, getting through the overs as quickly as possible. A lot of chatter, as you said, from keepers.
Well, it's been a tidy spell by Bjorn Fortuin. It's 4 overs, 1 for 30. He'll be happy with these days' work. And another wicket added to his tally tonight. Moved on to 11 for the competition. Still the leading wicket taker in this Lions outfit.
Yeah, that he is. And I think the one thing that he probably not be happy with, he'll be happy with the team's performance, getting across the line here. But if you look at that overall run rate achieved there, 5.6, and he's gone for 30, almost 8 and over. I think that's one aspect that he will probably look at and say he's probably not happy with that. But in this format, somebody has to go, and probably he was the one that had to go today.
Yeah, fair point. And his economy before this match was 5.73. So against his own standards, he probably will identify that and say that my competition numbers suggest that I are more accurate than that. But you'll get those days where, like you said, T20 game, someone has to go.
Yeah, and this sometimes it just doesn't come out right as a bowler, and you just have to just suck it up and just say, okay, maybe the next game. And as you said, he's been leading wicket taker. Peter, he's continuing as well. Been impressed by this with this kid, with his control, the way he's gone about his bowling, the way he's constructed an over together here. And you said earlier they gave him the confidence and put a slip in as well. Maybe one that could grip and get past the outside edge, or maybe take that edge.
Well, absolutely. It'll be interesting to see what Fortuin does from his end, having now completed his 4-over spell. If I was Luther Sipamla, I would be whispering, saying, you know what, I can get a 4-for here, or maybe a 5-for, so give me the ball. Skip. Oh, that's straight up in there. That's straight up in there. Peter's going to get his 3rd.
What an impressive bowling spell this has been from Peter. That's his 3rd wicket. Forget about Sipamla. Peter might just wrap it up here.
Peter probably heard me and said, no, there's no Luther Sipamla left in this match.
Yeah, and again, we don't want to be overcritical about a performance as well, but I just think we all can agree that it has been a little bit below par from Western Province here, the World Sports Betting Western Province team, with both bat and ball, Johan.
No, there's no doubt about that, and they'll take this performance and regroup and say it's not all doom and gloom. The competition is not over by a long shot.
No.
So how do we regroup? How do we become better at executing our basic skill set? And what went wrong and why did it go wrong, and how do we fix that?
And the first thing they'll look at is that fall of wickets, 5, 9, and it was just a procession there as well. And it just never really got a partnership of any significant value. Nothing anywhere near the 151 between Hendricks and Rickleton.
Well, Jeremy spoke about it earlier, and to his point, he called it from the start that they were a batter light. You probably, in hindsight again, you can go back to the toss. Why the decision to bowl? What was the thinking behind it? Wayne Parnell did not have his best day. He went for 50 plus.
Worried about a stat here, and I'll tell you that stat now.
Oh, inside edge.
Bowled
He's bowled him. He has bowled him. Oh, Peter has closed shop. He's taken the lead and he said no. And you know what is interesting? I spoke about the 4-wicket club, and Nkaba Peter has just joined that 4-wicket club. So well done to him. Analysis of 2.3 overs, 4 for 7.
And the stat I was going to say, I got 4 for 9 against Warriors for the Lions, and that was the stat I was worried about. But excellent bowling there by Peter. He ends up with 4 for 7, and what a performance with both bat and ball for the DPW Lions team. A comprehensive victory by 132 runs. It doesn't get any more convincing than that in a T20 format.
Yeah, they've been destroyed tonight, Western Province. Below par, 132 runs, like you said. And yes, 6 bowlers before Nkaba Peter, 6 bowlers with 4 in an innings. And tonight he joins that illustrious club.
He certainly does, and he bowled well. But, I mean, every man to a T. It's a good performance. Ryan Rickleton, Reza Hendricks, 151 partnership led from the front. Again, when they came out here, even Rusty van der Dussen added some impetus in the back end of the innings, the batting innings of the Lions. And then with the ball, they were just simply magnificent, really bowling the ball into the surface, hitting their lengths quite hard, and not giving Western Province any sniff whatsoever or any chance to really go after them. And I think the difference really is in that and how they applied themselves. And I don't just feel that they did that. It was something a little bit of a helter-skelter. But still a lot of cricket for them still to be played for, and I think they will certainly look at the next couple of games. Quick turnaround for them.
And that's the thing, they need to reset. They can't labour too much about this performance. They need to look ahead into the competition. You can't stay in the past. You need to look into the future. So in summary, if you've missed any of the cricket and you've joined late, just to give you an overview of what has happened, well, basically one team from start to finish, and that was the visitors from Gauteng. 213 for 2. Ryan Rickleton with 73, Reza Hendricks with 90. Opening stand that yielded 151 runs. And the Western Province just lost their way completely in the power play. It was always going to be key towards a potential miracle, but 20 for 3, 38 for 4, 57 for 5. They really never recovered. The power play 38 for 4, you're down and out for the counting, and they never got up. What a victory, what a performance by the DP World Lions. They march on to the next challenge. It is a meeting with the men from KZN Coastal in the form of the Dolphins. But 81 all out, Western Province. Bowled out in 14.3 overs. Peter's figures 4 for 7, just missing out on the best figures in the competition to date this season, that belonging to Keith Dudgeon. 3 overs, 1 maiden, 4 for 5. So Peter will feel very happy about life. Sabamla and Moreki was fantastic with the new ball at the top of the order. The fielding effort supported the batting effort, and the Lions will go back home with great confidence, having destroyed Western Province this evening at Newlands by a massive margin of 132 runs. From myself, Eugene Molion and Jeremy Fredericks, we greet you, and we'll see you again at the next encounter.